Hey there, fellow watchers. It's that time of the week again, Born to Watch. In honor of the release of Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, we decided to review the movie that defined the Mad Max franchise, Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior. A fuel-injected sequel to an Australian classic and one that took this franchise to the world. Mad Max 2 was a rite of passage for all young Australian men. More post-apocalyptic than its dystopian predecessor, Mad Max 2 is the blueprint for all action chase movies have tried to mirror forever and a day. Joining me back from WatchCon Auckland, G-Man, welcome.
Good evening. Great to be back. Yes, I've been in the land of the long white cloud.
How was that?
Good. Yeah, just drumming up some business over there. You know, talking to the fans.
And
I actually got out of Auckland. I went south.
Really?
Yeah. Went a bit south.
How's the response been over there?
Oh, it's big.
It's growing.
Yeah, very big. Yeah,
We're
big in Dunedin.
I've got to say, Dunedin. We've been to Dunedin before. Smashed it up.
Yeah, long time ago.
Yeah, God, a long time ago. Fuck, 32 years ago.
Yep.
Wow, that's scary. Welcome back. It's good to have you back on the couch.
Thank you.
It feels normal. And wearing the headset.
Yeah, headsets great. Love it.
Yeah, love the headset.
So much more room for activities.
There is. And our own Ayatollah of rock and roller up there on the land wearing a beanie, which must mean it's under 24 degrees. Daniel, welcome.
2 days ago, I saw a vehicle that would haul that tanker. You want to get out of here? You talk to me.
Very good line. I did laugh when you sent it to the chat during the week. I hadn't watched the movie yet, but I remembered it like it was yesterday.
I'm really interested in a few of your thoughts on this, Morgs. People being from the land. You know, you should have some.
And actually, did anyone notice where the promised land is?
I did.
Where they're heading to?
North. Was north.
No, do you know where it is?
No.
Did you see it, Daniel?
I did.
The Sunshine Coast.
Yeah.
And the postcard underneath that one, do you know what that one says?
What?
Noosa Beach.
Wow.
That's the promised land, boys.
You are quite the gyro captain.
That's where you took the tribe to. Yeah. You got the same
there's
teeth.
definitely a morgue alike there.
Mate, there's a few morgues alike in this one.
Oh.
Feral Kid.
Young Morgs. That was Victorian Morgs with his long do.
I thought the Feral Kid was up on the dining room in Woodwood Street in one of the frames.
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
Anyway, it's good to have us back, the three of us together again. Damo's having the night off. He's very busy man up there, Vicky Point, the mayor of Vicky Point. He might be doing some dance routines this evening. But anyway, we'll move on. He'll be back next week. 1981, this movie.
Sorry, before we move on, he would have had a dick to the warrior lady back in the 1981 for sure.
Oh, no doubt.
Virginia
Hayes.
Damo's not here, F-Wit. So when he was a young tacker, when he would fondle himself, he called it having a dick. And which is actually, I see absolutely no problem with that. It's quite descriptive. But yeah, 1981 would have been his having a dick absolute heyday. And I reckon there's a few scenes that would have
Damo started early. Damo was an early adopter. Of masturbation. Yeah. Pre actually ejaculate. He was.
Oh,
he started before he had enough. He had anything going downstairs. So anyway,
but he just made the noises. No payoff. Oh!
He used to blow wind. He used to have. He says he had all the feelings, but none of the payoff, none of the payload.
You know, he's never good in the rank bank. Never good in the how many times you've seen the movie, but how many times he's had a dick. I mean, that would have to.
Wow. Over and unders.
Thousands.
Oh, over and unders are just crazy numbers there. They aren't rookie numbers. Anyway, look, it's a 1981. None of that will probably make the final cut, but it's a 19...
God! I'm not getting involved in this anymore. It's too much movie talk.
A 1981 movie, Mad Max 2, 43 years old. And I've got no doubt I saw this movie far too young But moving on from that, I've been fairly conservative with the overs and unders because I actually probably haven't watched Mad Max 2 since Fury Road came out. That's probably that was 5 or 6 years ago. Actually, hang on a minute.
Have you seen Fury?
2013 is Fury Road, isn't it?
Yeah. Was it 2013?
It's a long time ago.
Have you seen Furiosa yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet. Damo's seen it. Damo really liked
Damo
it.
went straight to it, didn't he? He went
Damo
to the
really
first
liked
night.
it. My plans are to see it this week. I want to see it at the movie so that I can be the 13th person to see it in the cinema.
It was 2015.
Okay, there we go.
Pretty close.
Nearly 10 years ago. Whoa. Excuse me. Overs and unders. I've set this one at 35. I'm going to start with Dan on the land because he lives in the promised land. Mate, tell us a little bit about your first memories of Mad Max 2 and your overs and unders 35. Go for it.
Yeah, I always dread this segment because I've just beaten up my brain so spectacularly that I don't have a huge recollection of this one. I knew a lot of the dialogue when I remembered it, and I knew that it was a favourite of the G's, but when we were tackers. But no, I reckon I'm unders. I don't think it was. It definitely wasn't one of my top 4. So I don't reckon I have seen this 35 times. No.
What were your thoughts on the rewatch?
Oh, excellent. Yeah. So how quick it was well paced. I don't mind. If a movie is served up and it's just all action, go to woe. And I've got some discussion points later on about the lack of dialogue and how that is actually brilliant in this movie. But no, the rewatch, I was very happy to see it again and very fond of it.
Yeah, good call. Good call. G-Man, same question to you.
Watch this. A lot, like as Morg said, I love Mad Max and Mad Max 2.
Yes.
Very, very good movies. But I watched a lot as a kid, but yeah, haven't seen this for a long, long time. I couldn't tell you how long now. It's got to be 20 years,
Yeah.
I reckon. Maybe seen snippets of it, but I'd be somewhere between 30 and 40. I think your number's good.
Yeah.
35. I'd be somewhere between there, I reckon.
It's interesting because my favourite of all the Mad Maxes is the original. And I do love Mad Max 2, there's no doubt. And I do really enjoy Fury Road as well. I think that's an excellent film. I think I'm probably around 50, I would think.
Yep.
I would have watched this movie a lot I saw this movie as too young.
Can I just say that I had someone reach out to me through the week and ask seriously if you've seen these movies the amount of times that you said, because their thought was that you should be 180 years old with the amount of time you've dedicated to these movies.
So Megan, what people need to understand is that I'm taking into account stuff's on in the background. So if I've got something on and I'm doing something else and it's on, or if I've watched 30 minutes of it, I'm not watching, it may not be a complete watch of the movie, but it's me catching some of that film. And a lot of these movies are blown out because of the video shop as well, where I'm working during the day. I'm cleaning the shop, I'm doing some paperwork, I'm doing that kind of stuff, and I've got a movie on.
But movies back to back, they're on at the shop, right? So you're watching
movies
all day.
Exactly. If I'm working, say I'm working a full 12-hour day, there can be 6 movies on.
Yeah, that's right.
In that day. So I'm counting that because I'm capturing some of the movie at some stage.
Do you remember what movie was on when the Avalon Cool Cats came in and showed you the Dick book?
No, I don't remember, because all my attention was completely focused on the Dick book. And it probably
we've spoken about it previously, but if you're new to the pod, Matthew was he was essentially the mayor of Avalon there for a while. His video shop was the catchment for all sorts of Avalon.
It was a social hub. It was a
social hub of that very social place on the northern beaches. And one day, in come a couple of the Avalon Cool Cats. We're very proud of a book they self-published, which was basically them and their mates standing around in the buff with their dicks out. And that would it's pretty much say that was the entirety of the book, just dudes standing around with the tackle out.
It was a very arty book. It was I would liken it to, remember the Madonna sex book that she brought out? Which was black and white arty.
So was it like Men of League without the footies?
It sort of was. It was like Men of League. Exactly what it was. It was it wasn't Where's Wally, it was Where's Wanger, right? And it was almost like you had to pick the dick. Like if they came in and I'd seen the dick and I go, oh, there's that dick, 45, page 45. That belongs to Jono.
So it wasn't a full photo of them.
Some of them were,
Right.
and it was really arty. Like we're talking serious high arty, and a lot of black and white photos, a lot of side dick. Damo would have been over the moon with it, and it was a lot of pubes.
Oh,
Is because there was a lot of, they were very proud of their manliness. And look, it was very eye-opening. And what I think actually happens is you get to the last page, and I think it's like the Men in Black, wand that flashes and you forget everything. I think that's sort of what happened. And I was meant to forget, but it imprinted on my brain that strongly. That yeah.
Did you have a favorite?
No, look, you've seen one dick, you've seen them all, unless you've seen yours, Dan, and yours stands out from the rest. But look, I didn't have a favorite. There was some penises in that book that I didn't think they made them like that.
Right.
Yeah, there was a couple blokes that I looked at them differently from that day forward. And look, Gow, you can attest, we play footy. So we've seen a lot of dicks. Like we've been in the shower with a lot of men.
were any of these guys, did they have the affliction?
Some of them did. Some of them did. But look, if you're going to go on a dick book,
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain you're pretty happy with what you're packing.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Ken Jeong didn't mind.
No, that's it. That's a little mushroom, little button
He
mushroom.
didn't care at all.
I am not going in a dick book. All right? I'm not going in a dick book. Let's just say that.
Dick.
That's a lot.
I
Of
don't know if I had a chance to be Kenny Jeong and a bazillionaire Hollywood actor, but all I had to do was get my little mushroom button out in celluloid. I don't know. I'll probably stay down on the land.
Yeah, he's forever labelled.
But he suggested that because they had the script, and he said it would work better if I jumped out nude, and he was the one that said I'll do that, and they went, "You sure?" And he went, "Yeah."
And then they jumped out nude and they said, you didn't have to take your dick off for the scene. He got a Velcro dick. Ken Jeong got a Velcro dick. I'm just going to take it off for this scene.
He had a no Johnson clause because he didn't have a Johnson.
NJC.
Yeah. Just don't focus on my dick. Okay, it's not going to be hard. Literally. All right. Now, look, my earliest memories of this, I've told the story before about my dad buying or having a very early model Rank Arena VCR because he worked for Rank Arena, seeing Mad Max and Apocalypse Now as the first two VHSs I ever saw as a very young child. I'd say probably around 81, 82. And then I reckon I saw this far too young, this movie, right? I would say that I wouldn't have been double digits before I saw Mad Max 2 and loved it, right? Loved it. I remember going to the Easter show when it was at Moore Park and the Interceptor was there.
Yeah.
In a big top. And you could buy a ticket and you line up and go in and see the Interceptor with the dog, the one from Road Warrior, the one with the dog seat. It was awesome, right? I love the Interceptor from a very, very long age. So, look, yeah, this movie's been in my life for a long time. Probably too long.
I tell you, a few years ago they had something up here, like a carnival or a show up here at Broadbeach, and they had same thing. They had all cars coming through, and then Steve Bisley came through on the Interceptor, sitting on the back waving to everyone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got some photos of it. I'll send them through to you.
Wow, how cool is that? Love the Interceptor. All right, G-Man, why don't you tell us about Mad Max 2?
Okay. In the future, cities will become deserts, roads will become battlefields, and the hope of mankind will appear as a stranger. Former patrolman Max Rockatansky now scavenges for food and precious petrol on the deserted highways of an energy-starved Australia. Then Max stumbles upon a small oil refinery in the scorched wilderness. However, there's a catch. The community of survivors is under siege by a brutal biker warlord, Lord Humongous, and his barbarian marauders. Now, to get his hands on as much gas as he can carry, Max will have to provide the defenseless residents with a powerful truck. Using this method, they can transport gasoline to the safety. Of course, this is easier said than done. Is the Road Warrior up to the task?
He's just here for the gasoline.
I'm just here for the gasoline.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty
that covers pretty much what it's about.
I'm not sure how good a military tactician Humongous is.
No. He's got the beef.
He's
That's about
definitely
it.
he's got the look,
Yeah.
mate. He's rock set, but he's not much of a military tactician. I don't know how they didn't sack that place.
Yeah, there was only some wire fence around some of that place. I don't really know how they
Mate,
didn't get
he's
in.
got a gun. He's got a 44 Magnum. Just drive a bit further
Oh.
down, and the guy on the flamethrower, just shoot him. Another way it's up.
Are you
just shoot
encroaching
him.
on 5-minute movie?
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah, okay.
I think
All
we should
right,
because
sorry,
I got a few
sorry.
comments. I got a few comments about
Let's
that.
leave
as
it.
well.
Let's leave it. My apologies. Let's watch the trailer.
This is what it has come to.
Look! Out there! They're coming back! Come on! Move it!
Here is where it shall be decided.
There it is. Greetings from the Humongous.
In a world without gas,
The Humongous rules the wasteland.
I'm gravely disappointed that you wish to take the gasoline out of the wasteland.
Defend the fuel.
We'll never walk away!
Give me the pump, the gasoline, the whole compound.
this is a land that prays for a hero.
Well, if anyone's gonna get in there, it's gonna be you.
This is Mad Max 2. Max,
It's a long time since I've seen driving like that, man.
the warrior of the road.
You're okay by me, pal.
Gotta hand it to you, Treasure. The last of the V8 interceptors.
Every day we get weaker while they get stronger.
You want to get out of here? You talk to me. Now, to do the job, I need some high-octane gasoline.
Got yourself a deal.
You can run, but you can't hide!
You're gonna crash or crash through?
I was wrong about you. I'm sorry.
When it's every man for himself. And there's no place left to run. When all that's left is one last chance. Pray that he's still out there. Somewhere. Mad Max 2.
Well, there you go. Pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. That's a really
That's
good
a good
trailer. I
trailer,
like
that.
that. Yeah.
You see that, you want to watch it.
Oh, definitely.
The Rocky 3 trailer was a bit like that. It was like, okay, I want to watch the movie again. That was good. Doesn't give too much of the story away, though, Dan. What do you think?
I thought I was on mute. Sorry about that.
Doesn't think much at all. Excellent.
Is this
Love
thing
that.
on?
Okay. Critical thinking. IMDb rates The Road Warrior 7.6 out of 10, which is a little surprising, to be honest. Rotten Tomatoes, it's certified fresh, 94% on the tomato meter with an 86% audience score. It actually rates, Road Warrior rates below Fury Road and Furiosa.
Right. Really?
Yeah. Now, there's obviously recency bias with Furiosa, and Fury Road was an absolute fucking critical darling and of the world. Should have probably won the Academy Award for Best Picture.
So this was massive in its time.
But yeah, well, this had never really been a movie like this had never really been done before on this level. Got a couple reviews, a good one, and it's funny we flipped the script here because we've got old Wayne Kerr, old Davey Kerr, back from the Chicago Reader. This time he's doing a good review, believe it or not.
Oh, Davey. Likes
Yeah.
the new wave of Australian cinema, does he?
He does. He does. Miller has few real competitors for pure rhythm and visual panache. The climactic chase, with its deft variation of tempo and point of view, is a minor masterpiece.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
I don't
Great
know
review.
I think it's better than a minor masterpiece, though. It's pretty fucking good. That
No, it's
chase.
great. It's a great chase.
Now-
I have a question about the chase, but maybe I'll leave it till later.
Let's leave it. We've got a lot of room for questions. A bad review now. Pauline Kael from the New Yorker. Now, you know who Pauline Kael is? So she was apparently the film critic that Tarantino's last movie was going to be based around. The movie critic, which has since been canned, and he's not doing it. But she's a very well-known movie critic in America who writes for the New Yorker. We may not feel crummy after the movie, but we feel hollow. The Road Warrior is for boys who want to go around slugging each other on the shoulder, and for men who wish that John Wayne were alive and 50 again.
Huh. I don't really
I-
get the.
It's
No,
it's a men's movie,
there's not many women in it. That's for
but,
sure.
but I think it's like Megan had no interest in watching this at all.
Yeah, I can understand
Yeah,
that.
but
I love this after watching Mad Max because I was so enthralled by Mad Max,
Absolutely.
the original.
Absolutely.
And this was a great follow-up.
Yeah, it's one of the few that could be said is better than the original.
Yeah, it's definitely on par for me. Like, it's right up there.
Absolutely.
90s G, can you cast your mind back? Do you remember where we were when I pulled you up for it's actually on theme for this because you mentioned this is a man's movie. We were somewhere and 90s G was just mid-tail speaking to a 10, obviously, telling him about a fight movie and doing the moves and the karateka and everything. And I piped up and said that, yeah, chicks really love fight movies, 90s G. Do you? I can't remember
don't
where
know.
it was.
Well, I'm going to tell you it's been more than once. She said that to me about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, did I?
But I think you just said it. You brought it up somewhere because you were just like giggling at the whole joke. I can't remember where that was.
Anyway,
it was
sorry,
probably,
it's not that
probably
cool
on
a
our
story when I can't remember where it was.
It was probably
Where
in
do
our
we
travels
go?
somewhere. It could have been
We
in
should
Canada.
start
We've
from
been
A and just go through all the towns and countries we visited.
We started in Hawaii. I know that. Remember that night in Hawaii?
I agree, Dan. I think you should start with A, not tonight. And we'll do a solo pod, maybe a duo pod where it can be the travels.
Oh, two-hander.
Yeah, you can definitely. You can go skiing. Go skiing again. Ordinary people. Butter churn.
Yeah, what's the movie when they do this? Oh, I can't think of it.
Just having a conniption here.
Oh, I can't think of the movie. Anyway.
Okay. Ordinary people, G-Man, take it away.
Okay, look, let's talk about Mel Gibson. This was Mel in the good times.
Before the dark times.
This is in the good times.
Before the Empire.
This is John Amos. Mel.
Temporary layoff.
Good time. Yeah, look, Mel, born in the US originally.
Bull, he's Australian. 100%.
Moved to Australia in the 60s. Born in Australia in the US in 56. Studied at NIDA with Judy Davis and Jeffrey Rush and Colin Friels with Frielsy. Yeah. Had a few stints on stage before he did the movie Summer City, sorry. He played Scallop.
Yes.
In 77.
Summer City Scallop.
Yeah.
I love that.
He was in the Sullivans, played Ray Henderson, and then did a lot of stuff. Cop Shop, then into Mad Max, which was his first feature movie. They knew they had a star on their hands.
Yeah.
And we talked about that when we did the original. Then he was in Tim in 79 with Piper Laurie. And then another great 1981 movie.
Gallipoli.
What are your legs?
Yeah.
Springs. Steel Springs.
I'm surprised we haven't done Gallipoli yet.
Yeah, that's a top movie.
Let's get to it.
Yeah.
Quality.
How shit are Pommies? Do we have any fans in Old Blighty? I don't think so. They're all shit.
We've got a few fans in the UK. Not a huge amount, but fuck you for making us go over the trenches.
Yeah.
Be your fodder. Never forgotten.
Me and the G,
Just-
we've been there on our travels, and it's an
went to
impressive
Gallipoli.
and daunting climb that they made. It was just ridiculous.
But when you see that hill and you think, how could anyone scramble up there with gunfire? And you're like, it's
brutal.
like that. It's not that far, but it's so steep. There's no way you can get up there.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's
Yeah,
like Normandy
crazy.
in France, where
Yeah.
you just stand on the beach and go, "How did anyone get through?"
Yeah,
It's fucked.
it's crazy.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But look, he's been in tons of stuff. Lethal Weapon, 87. Tequila Sunrise.
There's 1 degree of
1
Kurt Russell.
degree.
What? Quick question, G-Man, because we could go on forever about Mel. Favorite Mel Gibson movie? Go.
Oh, gee. That's a tough one. Lethal Weapon, I really love.
Yeah.
I really love him in Mad Max. Oh, that's a hard one.
It's hard,
Between
isn't it?
those two, yeah.
Dan, favorite Mel Gibson?
Lethal Weapon for sure.
Yeah, I think Martin Riggs is my favorite
Yeah,
Mel Gibson
he's
character.
good, yeah.
Very good.
I think
all the
the
Lethal
director
Weapons.
took a punt on him too, because whilst he did have some great credits to his name, certainly carrying a movie like that, he was, I wouldn't say unknown, but it was certainly a risk. He wasn't going out with a smoking hot A-list choice. So yeah, I think he and that movie he's definitely the most memorable from it.
Yeah. Braveheart's pretty good though.
Yeah, well,
It
that's
is.
the other one, Braveheart.
I like his Aztec one as well. With that's
Apocalypto.
Good movie.
He's an amazing director. Apocalypto is again one of those movies, bit like Con Air, where I got highly emotional in it because of
you had a sook.
mother and the child. I may have had a cry. The mother and the child down the well when the water starts to come in, they're going to die. That
the
really
same
hit me where-
guy that reached out to me about you must be 180 years old for the amount of movies he said did say, what about him having a sook at Con Air?
What was worse, the Con Air scene or the Apocalypto? Like what's the worst scene for you? What's hardest?
It's a real fine line. The Con Air scene. It's hard to get that emotional punch that the finale of Con Air has.
Yeah,
it really is.
I mean, the music, the hair.
And I'll tell you what. In OnlyFans, got a retort to that.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway, move on.
Yeah, look, a couple of sliding doors for Mel. He turned down the role of Kyle Reese in The Terminator.
Yeah,
I could have seen him doing really good in that
It
role.
would have been very good. The right age.
Yep, perfect. He was the first choice to play Maximus in Gladiator. Turned that down as well.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big.
He's a bit old though for at that. When was Gladiator? 99?
2000.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
2000. Okay, 2000. He's a bit old because Rusty's 20 years younger than Mel Gibson. Surely, would he be?
Well, Rusty,
15 years younger.
now, Mel. Surely.
Yeah,
to be
you'd think
close.
so.
Yeah.
He's still looking fit, even with his big bushy beard.
God, it's massive, isn't it?
Big beard.
All right, let's move on. Bruce Spence.
Oh,
Mate, he had an early role in the movie Mad Dog Morgan.
well,
A story about Daniel Morgan, the bushranger.
With huge nutsack.
is that the one? Is that got Dennis Hopper in it?
Yes,
Dennis
Jack
Hopper. Dennis
Thompson.
Hopper was on
David,
the piss. The
He come-
entire
that's right.
shoot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he came out and just got on the piss.
David Gulpilil. Yeah, Daniel Morgan. It's not a true story though. Is it true or false that Morgs came to school and asked everyone to call him Mad Dog? You always call me Mad Dog.
I think that's true.
You can't, and in Australia and probably all over the world, but you can't come up with your own nickname. But I did slyly try and introduce it a few times.
Just nudge
but
it.
Yeah.
Nudge it in.
No, it wouldn't take. But I couldn't be overt, or it would have been. Yeah, I would have got called
Megan, my
Flaps
wife.
or something.
Megan, my wife gets very upset when I say that she gave herself her nickname. Like loses her shit.
Oh,
And
really?
I say she called herself Mog. She went around the school asking people to call her Mog, and she blows up every time. It's so fucking good.
I hear her
Oh,
come down the
remember to
stairs in
bring
a
that
minute.
Yeah, she's gonna be angry listening to this. She just yelled out "fuck you" from the top of the stairs.
On your Mog.
Mel Gibson, 68, by the way, 1956. He was born.
There you go. A Rusty Crowe'd have to be 55.
Yeah, he's mid 50s.
Yeah.
Mid to late 50s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, look, so Bruce Spence, he was in Mad Dog Morgan, then Gyro captain straight after that, and he was in Beyond Thunderdome as well. Played the role of Jedediah.
Okay.
Yeah, totally different character.
Springfield.
Totally different character.
Yeah.
Wow. Was he in Stalk? Is that
don't know.
the thing that I think he was in the movie Stalk?
He was in The Year My Voice Broke in 87. He was in
Ah, Noah
Dirtwater
Taylor.
Dynasty.
Oh, Dirtwater Dynasty. Those with Hugo Weaving.
Played Lonely Logan.
I feel his pain.
He's done a few voices. He did the role of Chum in Finding Nemo in 2003. He was the train man in Matrix Revolutions. He was also in Star Wars, Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
He was
I
Tion Medon.
yeah, I reckon he would have been a
They
member
were
of
shot
that.
out in Australia, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were, yeah.
Mate, also was in Mystery Road. Great Australian TV series.
Well, it was a movie that became a TV series, wasn't it?
Aaron Peterson.
Aaron Peterson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hugo Weaving's in that as well. Ryan Quanten.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
your
Oh,
mate.
your
Yeah,
mate.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, taught him a little bit about the acting game back in the day.
You did.
Ah,
Talking about the game, that's for sure.
you taught him how to spray it on the 7th at Warringah, didn't you?
Pretty much. I
Taught
can
him-
teach,
taught-
teach anyone that.
Taught him how to pound tens on True Blood. That's what you taught him.
Okay. Mike Preston.
Oh, we're digging deep. Jesus, the
Yeah.
cast is
Do
huge.
we need to
here.
go through? We
Is
don't
that
need to-
Papagallo?
Yes.
Right.
Papagallo. Mate, was in did 42 episodes of Homicide.
He's got
Remember
a
that?
really interesting head.
Yeah.
He does. It's aged. It's like a piece of old cheese.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
born
it's
in
like
he was
it's-
born in the 30s, I think. Like he was
He was a jobber.
he was well, mate, he didn't do a lot. He was a jobber, right? He did a lot of US TV shows. So after this, he only did one movie. He was in Bellbird, the Australian show Bellbird. Like nearly 400 episodes of that, and that was in the early 70s.
Wow.
Was
then
he in
in the-
Solo
in the-
1 with Paul Cronin?
No, well, he might have been.
I
He
don't know
might have had
why
a
I'm
go in that.
obsessed with Solo 1. I just,
I'll tell you what he was in
Solo
though.
One,
This is pretty impressive.
one.
This is pretty impressive. One or two off episodes. The A Team,
Great.
3 episodes. The Scarecrow and Mrs. King in 85. Airwolf,
Oh,
Remington Steele, Hunter
yeah.
with Fred Dryer.
Fred Dryer, yeah.
Yep. And Fame in
In
87. And also he was in You Take the Good, You Take the Bad.
Oh, really?
Yep.
The Facts of Life?
The Facts of Life.
Wow.
Did a
Did
few
he root
episodes.
Goody? Whatever her name was?
Goody.
Tootie! Tootie! Tootie!
Sorry. Oh, that was completely not even meant that.
The best. The best.
Fucking hell.
Oh, shout out to Tootie. Oh. Oh.
Oh my god.
All right, let's move on to Vernon Wells. Now, we've had Vernon on before.
We have. Hey,
because-
John.
Because he was Bennett in Commando in 85.
He was.
Obviously played Wes in this movie.
Yeah, interesting.
The old free bum. It's normally a free ball. This was a free bum.
Now, the interesting thing is that the cast were told they could dress themselves. So his costume was a choice. I don't know if I'm going the arseless chaps. I'm going to touch that in question time.
There was a story going around because it looked like really hot out there, but it was out beyond
Freezing
Broken Hill, so it
cold.
was freezing. So because he used to have the bum out, they used to call him barometer bum.
Yeah.
So when his cheeks went purple, they knew it was too cold.
It was time to go inside. Morgs would be fine. Morgs would be fine. He's got those hairy cheeks.
Anyway, yeah, he was also in Weird Science, Fortress in 85. We've talked about Aussie movie.
Yeah, great
He
movie.
had a real moment. He was the go-to heavy hood there for a while. Fuck
Yeah.
knows why.
I know, shit house.
He's fine, but he seems to have really done a lot more than you probably would have thought he would. So good on him.
Yeah. Yep.
Mate, got a couple of stats on him. These are some big ones that are pulled out from IMDb.
Love it.
This is the kind of good ones. There's 2 for you. 1, he also worked as a salesman.
Excellent.
Whoa.
2, he's not related to actor John Wells.
Excellent. Excellent.
There were stats in there, not related to him.
Not related to him.
That's it.
Yep. Right. Has never drunk water from a well either. Fuck me.
All right, Virginia Hay. Now, she was discovered by a modelling agent when she was sitting at a bus stop on the way to school.
Pervert.
Or going to art school, I should say. So it's
Right.
beyond
Okay.
school.
Right.
She was a former girlfriend of Michael Hutchins.
Oh, well, mate, the longest line.
The longest line.
The
list is long.
The line is long and distinguished.
He was quite the swordsman,
wasn't he? God.
Yeah.
Wow.
He wasn't shy, was he?
He needed a very large headboard.
I've modelled my latest do on him in circa 89, I reckon. So yeah.
Mystify. You reckon you've got a bit of a Mystify hairdo?
Definitely Mystify.
Never tear us apart?
Is it Shabu
Yeah.
Shabar?
Nah. He didn't quite have it in Shabu Shabar land. So Shabu Shabar charted in the States. They had a real moment in excess. They were a global force.
Mate, they were
for a
massive.
while. Australians don't appreciate how big In Excess were. I think it's because they mangled the brand a bit after Hutchins died, where they try to get the new singer, and they were just overexposed a little. I think they should have just been a bit more gracious and just faded away rather than get old mate to come and sing for them.
JD.
Yeah.
It ain't pretty after the show.
Yeah, shit song.
Great TV series though. Rockstar in Excess, one of the great reality shows of all time.
You
ever.
do dig a reality show.
Mate, that has ruined any music show for me for all time. It was so fucking good.
The first one?
Yeah, Rockstar in Excess. The next one, which was Rockstar Supernova, where it was a made band, had Tommy Lee and
right.
They made a band, didn't even compare.
Right.
Yeah, it was very good. Very good.
Tommy Lee, if he was in the Avalon Dick book, would have needed a fold out.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Mate,
both ways.
Talk about a swordsman.
Yeah, he's slayed some birds.
Anyway, Virginia Hay, after that, was on Prisoner. She did 14 episodes of that in the early 80s. She was in The Living Daylights. Played the role of Rubovich.
I forgot. I remembered the character, but I forgot it was Virginia Hay, and she is a beautiful lady. My goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very pretty. She was also on E Street. Played Jennifer St. James.
Was that Bruce Samazan?
Yeah.
E Street? Yeah.
Was it Tony Pierin that was on?
Yeah, Tony Pierin's your favourite.
Oh.
You loved a bit of Tony, didn't you?
Yeah, Tony Pierin.
The G. He'd give away all his tens for one night with Tony Pierin, wouldn't you, G-Man?
You'd be peering in the curtains. That's what you'd be doing. Meat curtains.
I did work experience on E Street, and Tony Pierin was on set.
Oh, that's right.
In 1990 when I did it, and we were similar age, and we were kind of eye fucking each other. I remember, and
oh fucking,
it was pretty hot, and there was a lot of tension. But she kept getting called away to do a scene, and I kept getting called away to get someone a cheese sandwich. So yeah, it was. We didn't get a chance to actually act on the.
Between you and Bruce Samazan and Wheels, what's his name?
Marcus
Graham. Like, she just had a plethora of good-looking blokes.
I was the alpha, but there was heaps of good-looking dudes there.
I got to say, Daniel, you've said a lot of bold-faced lies on this podcast. That one's the greatest one. Right? That one is but it's all right.
They're anchored. They're always like
there's some element of truth.
A good bullshitter has an element of truth. So I did work experience on E Street. Tony Pierin was on set when I was there. I did have a face full of zits and the world's biggest nose at the time. And
you may have just been staring at her.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, staring at her. With my cock out.
You were definitely eye fucking her. There's no doubt about that.
So it's 95% true, that story.
Yep, that's it. I love it. I stand corrected.
All right, moving on. Only one more. We got to mention him, Sid Halen.
Oh, Cookie.
It's hard to recognise without Bob beside him.
There's a mini Bob Hatfield in this movie. There's a little short blonde guy with white hair. He looks like a mini Bob Hatfield.
Oh, I know the guy you mean.
He's in the refinery. He's in My Lookalike. He also looks a bit like Moggs.
Because of him playing that character, after this movie, every time he was on screen, I was taken out. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay in and lock in with what he was trying to do in Road Warrior because I kept going to cook.
Yeah, you just think of him as Cookie, right?
Yeah, a country practice.
Like you think about how big that show was, like, and you think about it crossed over. What about Mrs. Mangle?
Yeah,
just things like that. Like they're so ingrained in the Australian
what about Toadie?
vernacular. Yeah,
Toadie. Like, how did he ever get a gig?
he was on there for years. He's still on there,
Mate,
isn't he?
I think he is.
No, they canned the show.
He's still going though.
He's doing a one-man show.
He's just doing a one-man show in Ramsey Street down there in Melbourne somewhere. The arsehole of Melbourne.
You know, I read the other day, totally unrelated. The in-betweeners, Simon, the tall geeky one that loved Carly, his girlfriend in the end of the third series that he saw, really pretty girl, and they got awkward and he vomited on her and stuff like that. They're still together today, like in real life.
Really?
Yeah.
What a great show The In-Betweeners was.
Yeah.
For 3 seasons, it was flawless.
10 out of 10. 10
It's
out of
flawless.
10.
Yeah, it's flawless TV. Movies aren't great. The first one's okay. The second
Oh no,
one's
the
rubbish.
movies are horrendous.
Yeah,
the first one's when they go to Ibiza.
The first one's when they go to Ibiza.
Yeah.
It's okay. Right? When they dance, there's some bits which are quite funny, right? But the TV show, there was not a bad episode.
No,
the teacher, the big tall teacher, is
Greg Davies.
Greg Davies is an absolute standout, and he's got a couple. He's got a couple comedy stand-ups on Netflix, and they are all-time funny.
Yeah, he's a stand-up.
Have you ever heard him interviewed? He is so funny. The stories he tells, he's outrageous.
He's on Graham Norton quite often.
That's it. That's the one I was thinking of.
He's funny on that. Yeah.
I fucked that bear. Like it is so funny. Every day for a summer, I fucked that bear. He is one of the funniest human beings on the planet.
Super funny.
But the episode of The In-Betweeners, I think is in season 3, where they do the modeling, and Simon has his nut out and walks down everything with his ball out and doesn't know. Like there are so many, and what you say is true, Dan, is that there needs to be some relevance that people can hold on to. There needs to be something that someone go, that's happened to me, or you can't. They're like that, and that TV show has got that many cringe moments in it, but somewhere someone has had that happen to them.
I can think of a couple of instances at good old Cromer High with us that were similar.
For sure.
But yeah, it is. It just takes you straight back to awkward teenage years of you two and me being your cooler mate. It just fucking, it was, I understand. I feel
but the one, well, but I think the thing that too is that it takes you back to all that stuff, but you've got to have, they've got great actors in that show.
For sure.
It's like Seinfeld where you get,
for sure.
You
They caught lightning in a bottle.
Caught lightning with, and all of them are so good. Like there's none of them that are unbelievable that you don't like.
Yeah.
And then you've got the side characters like Greg Davies.
Oh mate, so good. So good.
The parents, like
it's just so good. You're bent. Your dad's bent. It's just so funny.
Neil.
It's just so funny. Neil, your dad's bent. And Jay, I had this bird and I was toe fucking her. And then his dad just comes in and just blows him away. It's so funny.
What about the episode when they go to the caravan with the parents, and then he comes out of the toilet, and they're all sitting there going,
"Oh, yeah, he's just taking a shit in the toilet in the caravan."
Wouldn't go in there for a minute.
Cardinal sin.
Is that the one where Neil finger bangs the bird in the back of the car, and they go and sit in the back seat? It's all wet. It's just hilarious. It's one of the best shows of all time. Anyway, we sidetrack. Who's next, G-Man?
That's it.
Can I say one thing? There's the one girl who's going to win. Maybe Virginia Hay wins, but the Brad Pitt. So Archie Whiteley.
Yeah,
blonde girl.
very cute.
She's in another great 80s Australian film. Daniel, do you know which one it is?
Porkies.
No. Razorback.
Ah, okay.
She's the girl that lives. She's the old guy's granddaughter. She lives alone in the house, and Gregory Harrison. They have a little bit of a moment.
Yeah.
Archie Whiteley. She has a shower, outdoor shower. Nice.
She couldn't look more 80s in this one. My goodness.
100%.
She's got a bit of Xanadu about it, doesn't she?
She does. Absolutely.
The hair up.
Absolutely. Okay, G-Man, what about the budget and all the other numbers that we've got? I'm sure you got them somewhere.
Yep. The gross for this movie worldwide was 23.6 million in 81 on a budget of $3 million. Now, that was a pretty big budget back then.
Considering the original Mad Max was on about 400,000.
Yeah, that's right. They had
I've
to
got
do a lot of-
just to pull you up there, Stats Boy. I've got them in 82, just because it was actually released internationally in 82, but 81 in Oz.
Okay.
So there might be some conflicting numbers there. So I've got I've got a total gross of 23 in 1982. So I don't know if that is cumulative.
Well, 23.6. That's what I said. 23.6. So whether it's that, but that's the total. That's what I said worldwide.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. That's.
I've got exactly the same number as you.
Thanks for butting in, Dan. I like it.
Just keep it honest.
Yeah, thanks, Dan.
Thanks, 81, 82.
I've got a number of 23.
23. 23,
Yes,
667, 907.
I've got the same number, Daniel. Yes, thank you.
There is two conflicting numbers. There's 23.6 and 23.82.
Okay.
So we'll split the difference on that because we're not really.
We'll get Dan, Waterhouse, and Coopers in to do the audit.
One of the top four.
That's it.
Opening weekend, 2.6 million. So almost got their money back in the opening weekend.
It's not bad.
Yeah. And opened in 704 theatres worldwide and averaged in the theatres 10.2 weeks. 2.5 months in theatre.
Called the Road Warrior. No, they dropped the Mad Max 2 in most markets because they did.
That was in the US. It was released in the US under Road Warrior.
Well, the reason for that was because it didn't get released in the US. Mad Max didn't get released. And so it had only just been released.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to confuse people having Mad Max and Mad Max 2. So they called it the Road Warrior.
Well, you don't need to have seen the first one to see the second.
No, you don't. But I think that, but it'd just been released like a few months before.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, we can't re-release something with the same name.
Yep. Anything else, G-Man?
No, that's it.
Okay, I've got a few awards here.
Okay.
1983. It's big with the Saturn Awards, this movie. 83. Best International Film, Saturn Award. Nominated Best Actor, Mel Gibson. Nominee for Best Supporting Actor, Bruce Spence. Nominated Best Director, George Miller. Nominated Best Writing, and also nominated for Best Costumes. Only one Best International Film in the Saturns. The AFIs in 82 won Best Director, that and won Best Achievement in Sound, won Best Achievement in Production Design, Best Achievement in Costume Design, Best Achievement in Editing. Was also nominated for Best Original Music Score for the Australian Brian May. And yeah, so look,
the AFIs understands the Australian
film industry.
So I get that.
Where do you reckon they
Awards,
had?
is that like ranking the beer at the time?
No, the Saturn
Like
Awards
voted
is
best
the
beer?
science fiction. It's like a science fiction award. Yeah. Anyway,
Where do you think they held the AFIs in 1982? What's the name of that community hall at on Fisher Road? Where the
could have been a
Cromer Community Centre.
Could have been a
Cromer
Boondar.
Community Centre.
Could have been a Boondar.
Yeah, but one of the two. I reckon either at Warriewood at Boondar or Cromer Community Centre was where they.
I
reckon 81 or 82 more.
Well, 82 it was 23 667. So it's it's confusing.
Okay, 1981 hit sleeper dud. Dan, you've got the hit. Take it away.
Yeah, and part of the problem with me confusing 81 and 82 is I've looked at 82 for my hit, so I'm going to actually say 82. And it's one that we know and love too well, but I wanted to froth out on it again. It's The Thing. It's a late favorite of the G's. The G was late coming to The Thing. Would that be fair to say, G Money?
I think you watched it for the first time when we did it for the podcast.
Yeah, I went full demo.
Yeah.
So I would love to be seeing it. Yeah. So I had a similar revelation via the man you're sitting next to who introduced me to it. And yeah, what a great film. What I found really unreal was almost entirely practical effects in The Thing as well, but differs quite significantly to the practical effects in Aliens, which was only a few years later. So whilst The Thing, all of the puppetry and the horror style variations on The Thing itself, they're pretty kitschy when you look back on it now, but still awesome. Whereas you cut forward a couple of years and you get something as slick and as ageless as Aliens. So very interesting that you can enjoy both similarly, but very, very different viewing experiences.
Well, mate, the thing was the 4th episode we did. The
Yeah.
episode went for 42 minutes.
Jeez, we were good back then.
Wow.
I actually think we need to do a rethink.
The thing would be a 2-hour now.
I think we need to do a rethink. Well, we're gonna schedule that, and we're getting Damo involved as well because I reckon he'll have rookie numbers for that one.
He would totally.
It did rank very, very well. 4.5 flamethrowers for the thing.
Yeah, great movie.
Good call, Dan. And
Good
we're
movie.
going to be doing a rethink in the future.
And
G-Man,
I must say, I haven't seen the prequel with Joel Edgerton. I haven't watched that yet because I think you saw it, Matthew White, and
yes,
said
I
that
saw it.
not.
Look, it's just obviously the original is a absolute top 10 movie for me, and it's CGI and it just ruins it. The storyline's not bad. It's a prequel, so it talks about the Norwegians. But anyway, G-Man, you've got the sleeper.
Look, my sleeper, we've already touched on it. We already talked about it. It's Gallipoli. I put it as a sleeper because it's a big movie for us, but it obviously wasn't a big movie internationally.
Yeah.
But just a fantastic. It was in my top 10. Peter Weir directed. Young Mel Gibson, Mark Lee, Bill Hunter,
the soundtrack.
Robert
What
Grubb.
happened?
Yeah,
Did Mark Lee get injured? Because he was on.
Yes, he did.
He was.
No, it wasn't Mark Lee.
No, that
Mark
was
Lee,
John.
he was in The Light Horseman.
Yeah, that was The Light Horseman.
Yeah.
I watched that not long ago. Good movie too.
Phelpsy.
Yeah, Phelpsy.
Where are you, Phelpsy?
Where are you, Phelpsy?
Skinny Phelpsy.
Yeah. Yep. Good
Sorry,
call,
back to Mark Lee. So Mark Lee felt like he was going to be a huge star and then kind of fizzled.
Yeah, he did fizzle. He should have been a huge star. That
Good
Gallipoli
looking, great looking rooster. Amazing performance in Gallipoli.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Great movie. Great movie.
He was in Vietnam, the Australian TV series with Nicole Kidman.
And Andrew Clark.
Yeah.
Another Kennedy Miller production, that one?
Yeah. Very good. Very. I'll tell you what I found on YouTube is the TV series The Challenge, which is the one about Australia too.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, shitty quality, but I'm watching it. It was
that
one of my favorite.
old one?
Yeah, it's got
it.
John Wood plays.
That's right.
Alan Bond, and
he's Bondy.
yeah, it's so good.
Good old Rafferty's rules himself.
Who's the captain too? John Bertrand.
John Bertrand. Yeah, it's someone of note, but I can't remember. Yeah. Lorraine Bailey's in it.
Who plays the American skipper?
Dennis.
John Connor. Dennis Connor is played by. Oh God, what is his name?
I'll tell you.
I'm going to blow up when I hear it. I know.
I remember it because I remember at the end when he says, "He's like, guys, thanks very much." Pulls them all in.
The real Dennis Connor had a very punchable head.
Yeah,
he did. They were all fuckwits.
Yeah.
That whole America's Cup.
Oh, the New York Racing Club or whatever. Yeah.
Was it the Challenge or just Challenge?
The Challenge. Right, type in the Challenge TV miniseries. Oh, what's his name? Nicholas Hammond. Nicholas Hammond played Dennis Connor, and you'd know him. He was in
Sonny's
brother, Peter's brother. He had better teeth. Nicholas Hammond.
And he played... You want me to dismantle the bomb?
What did he play? He's been in quite. You know him. He played Nicholas Hammond. Okay, so Nicholas Hammond was in The Sound of Music. He was actually one of the kids. He was Friedrich. He was he was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He plays Sam Wanamaker. He's been in heaps of stuff. But he was a bit of an Aussie. He's in Gallipoli, the TV series or the TV movie. He's been in heaps of stuff. He's in quite a bit of Australian stuff too in the early days. Anyway. Flipper. He was in the Flipper TV series in the 90s.
TV series in the 90s, or was that the movie?
No,
was that the Paul Hogan?
A remake.
He was in Lord of the Flies, the original Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, he was a bit of a Mate, he was in, look, Soul, Murder, She Wrote. Move on. Okay, my dud for 1981. Tarzan the Ape Man. So this starred Bo Derek and Richard Harris. Now,
Goodness.
it's what should have been a hit. Now, the poster, I don't know if you guys remember the poster, but had Bo Derek swinging on a vine in a leaf bikini. And I watched the trailer again because I'd remembered I watched the trailer again, and Richard Harris, who is one of the greatest actors ever, right? Played Dumbledore, incredible as in The Unforgiven, in Orca, incredible actor. It's while on an African expedition with her father, Jane Parker meets Tarzan, and the two become fascinated by each other. It is so bad, this movie. You need to watch the trailer, people. Type in Tarzan the Ape Man, 1981. Bo Derek is talking to Tarzan in the water, and she's eating a banana, explaining to him that she's a virgin in the trailer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is. The movie is so bad. Richard Harris, it's quite clear that Tarzan is a man, right? He's a man. It's quite clear. Richard Harris refers to him as an ape about 30 times in the trailer. And I remember seeing this as a kid because obviously Tarzan was a bit of a thing and Bo Derek was a bit of a thing. And I remember seeing this and I hated it then and it's shit house now. My dad, Tarzan the Ape Man. Watch the trailer, people. Awful.
There you go.
Daniel's having a coughing fit, the black lung. Okay, gentlemen, we've hit that time. Question time. This seems to be movie making at its most simplistic. It's just a chase movie. Why the lickouts? G-Man.
That's a tough one. I just think it's such a good story. It pits the hero against a huge enemy that he can't possibly win against. You know, he goes through all that struggle to get through. He gets out again and has to go back. Like it's the chase movie is great, but there's a lot more story to it. And I think that also comes into the fact that we've got most people would know his character from the first movie and the things he's gone through, his family
history.
get run over, all the history, all that kind of stuff. So you sort of know, and being such a huge star, or Mad Max being so big, I think that plays a lot into this second movie.
Okay, good answer. Daniel, thoughts? Why the lickouts?
I think probably what we overlook is that the visuals of this, including everything that makes up that dystopian world that George Miller creates and the costumes, this is the first time we see it. This is not, whilst we touched on it in Mad Max, the original, isn't really dystopian. It's a near future where obviously there's been some sort of societal collapse, but it hasn't become what is this dystopian vision that we encounter when we get to the Road Warrior. So I think whilst all those visuals now have been utilized by many, 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 many other directors and films and really taken over, this was the first time we really saw a lot of that in anything above a B schlocky movie. So yeah, it's a chase movie, but it's also giving us visuals that we hadn't seen previously.
Okay, good answer. Now, I'm going to move a question forward because I think it's quite poignant now.
Sidney Poitier, poignant?
Very, very Poitier. How important is the dialogue in this movie, and is it even required? Could this be a silent film?
So I thought about this, and we've spoken about previously how there is a version of Raiders of the Lost Ark which is completely dialogue free that was done by Steven Soderbergh, and it's an incredible watch if you see it, because you can watch that entire movie without any dialogue and know exactly what the fuck is going on. I would posit that this movie is fairly similar. And I know that George Miller, a lot of his influences were from silent movies and from really early on cinema. And he Showing Not Tell was really a rule that he lived by that is very evident in the final product. So yeah, that's a very long-winded answer to say, yes, I think this could work quite well without much dialogue because it doesn't have much dialogue.
Correct. G-Man.
I agree with that. I think the lack of dialogue is good because that's Max's character.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a lot needs to be said.
He's got 16 lines of dialogue in the whole
16
movie.
lines, and 2 of them are on Here for the Gasoline.
Yeah.
So
2 days ago, I saw a vehicle that could haul that tanker.
But that's the thing, he doesn't have friends. He's not interested in making friends. He's just there to get the gasoline and get out.
Yep.
Not a lot of people are interested in food in this movie. More about the gasoline.
Oh, I know. Well, they were eating dog food, so
yeah, I think he die.
Yeah, gross.
So yeah, I think it leans right into it. The most you hear is from the people inside,
correct,
and a little bit from Humongous.
Yeah,
that's really about it.
And Wes, very deep voice, old Wes. It's interesting. Kennedy, George Miller edited this with no sound. So there was no sound when he edited it. He just edited it purely by the visuals. So pretty incredible.
Wow.
So it just shows how unimportant the dialogue is. The sound production is extremely important to this film. Extremely important. Okay, the arseless chaps must have been a fashion choice. They're not particularly functional.
No, they're not, especially for someone riding around on a bike.
No.
But, we saw him in Bennett too.
George Miller's quite famous for involving his actors a lot in the creation of their characters, including the visuals and their costumes. So he's complicit in this. He said to old mate, what do you want to run? And he's going, well, I see a mohawk. Even a mohawk was super interesting at that time. So obviously coming out of the punk world, but you wouldn't have seen a lot of it on film, certainly for a character. But yeah, the arseless chaps. I mean, it's a bold move. Well played.
Where do they manage to get the red dye for his hair?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. How far do you guys reckon you would get carting the fuel? You got to walk a long way to get to that tanker.
Up the hill.
Up the
mountain.
How far are you getting? Now, let's say, correct me if I'm wrong here, because I'm not a maths whiz, but 1 litre equates to 1 kilo, right? That's the rules, I believe. So if he's carrying 50 litres of petrol, he's carting
more
50.
than that. He's got 4
jerry
20
cans.
4 20-litre jerry cans.
So there you go. So he's carrying 80 litres of petrol. How far are you getting with 80 kilos
are they 20s
on your back?
or 25? Who knows?
Well, let's say they're 20s, right?
That's 80 kilos.
So
on your
there's
back.
80 kilos on your back. How far are you getting? You getting to the truck?
Mate, no.
I'm having a nap.
Mate, he fell down the ravine. How is he going to get back up out of there and lug all those things and put them back on his shoulders?
Yeah. And not only that, he catches the gyro captain who's walking with the it's World War III at the Morgans.
Hear that?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Clean as day.
We can Snack-a-doodle sneak man, snack-a-doodle, snack-a-doodle sneak man.
Silent yelling going on there.
Snack-a-doodle, sneak man doodle.
Do the shaking.
Sorry, you were going to get an apology, but there's been more tears.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's funny. That's
sorry.
okay.
Just to tie up the 80 kilos. So at boxing before a fight, we often do a fitness test we call it the Rokotansky, and it is very similar to that. We actually chuck 5 jerry cans on our backs, and we'll run probably, I guess, 15 Ks with that on our back. And so I'm always in about the top 5 with that. So I reckon I would have gone all right in the Wasteland.
You know how I said before that the last story he told was the biggest crock of shit?
Yeah.
It may have already been topped 2 in the 1 episode. But anyway,
slinging Jim.
I don't know how he carries 5 jerry cans and keeps them even. But anyway, it's it'd be.
That is impossible, and he doesn't even have anything over his back to hold the weight, like just the bar.
And if Max isn't carrying it, old stickman dude Bruce Spence is not carrying it.
Yeah.
Old Stork, it's not happening. Okay. How haven't the Marauders sacked this refinery yet? I don't understand this.
It's because they're doing burnouts out the front, wasting all their gasoline forever. I mean, I understand it. You get on a moto, you want to do donuts, but considering it's a fairly finite resource in the distant future, I don't know that Humongous maybe could tell them to calm down on the burnouts for a while.
I'll posit you this, and Morgs, this might go with your theory of, well, then they wouldn't be able to make 96 minutes of movie, but there's as much TikTok, what do you say? Thump, thump, as much gasoline as you like. They're making all this gasoline. Why don't they just give some to them?
Yeah,
Like
that's
guys,
5-minute movie. That's absolutely 5-minute movie.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, that guy's going, if you don't give us the gasoline, we're going to blow you up. We're going to come in and kill you all. Here's a heap of gasoline. We'll make as much as we like.
Yeah. It's non-stop.
You guys keep coming back. Just don't kill us. Stay out. We'll keep our guard up here.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get the producer to edit this out and put it into 5-minute movie.
5 minutes. No, that's all right. Well, you can just use it again in 5-minute movie. Well done, gentlemen. Good
I
answers.
told you to put it into 5-minute movie.
Good answers to all the questions. Born to Watch Only fans, we had an email sent to us via the new Born to Watch website. Please use it as a tool. Get on it. Send us a message.
I thought I might have heard more from our Narrabeen brethren. I know the internet is fairly poor in Narrabeen because they like to throttle the speed so that we don't hear from Scum Valley. But I figured we may have heard something from our listeners from that nasty place, but obviously nothing as yet.
No, nothing as yet. I'm sure it'll come at some stage. They're probably just saving it all up, and they'll slam us in one foul swoop. But we've got an email from Matt and Dan's going to love this. Is from the Middle-Aged Men podcast, who are big fans of us, the Middle-Aged Men podcast. It says, Matt White, don't be ashamed to shed a tear over a Nick Cage performance with a little girl like in Con Air. Only a heartless person would not shed a tear over a father and daughter moment. Honestly, you guys are great. I really enjoy listening to your show. Been hooked since I started listening a couple of weeks ago. Thanks and keep up the great work. Matty, love your work. This guy gets it.
Matty, what do you cry to? What movies?
This guy gets it. Right? You heartless bastards. Right?
This is the reason. We also have emotions, and we will shed a tear when it is required. But I'm sorry, but Nick Cage with the world's most wispy mullet sitting there with a dog shit bear is not going to elicit a tear from any normal human.
Mate, he's never seen his daughter. You got Leanne Rimes busting out whatever the song is.
No, we always get that wrong. It's the other one.
It's not. It's Leanne's cousin.
Trisha Yearwood.
Trisha Yearwood.
Yeah. Trisha Yearwood.
Yeah. We've also got our first voicemail.
Wait, sorry, hang on. I want to unpack this a bit more. So these guys do a podcast. Do we listen to this podcast?
I've listened to a couple episodes. What they're doing is they're doing the 1001 movies you must watch before you die.
Oh, I've seen that book.
And they're going through, right. and it's and they've actually, and we like this because they called it the Shinning after
nice.
the Simpsons. So
nice.
It's very good. The guys are good. I guested with them on a podcast about a couple of months ago. Yeah, we're going to get them on board. They're keen to come on and have an episode with us. So
nice, sounds good.
We're going to go global. We're going to really break into that US market
across the streams.
This is it. So we've got our first voicemail.
They sound like old cunts though, middle-aged.
Yeah, they're about our age. They're probably younger than us.
Oh, well, I'm in my prime. I don't know about them, but yeah, anyway, moving along. But thank you. Thank you. Good look out.
You're in someone's prime. Let's listen to our first voicemail. Here we go.
Born to Watch podcast. This is Will, the Work Experience Kid. Just finished up listening to the Aliens episode. Absolute cracker. Well done, boys. Also, I heard the Con Air one, which is why I'm doing this voicemail. And I love Nick Cage movies. He's got one coming up called The Surfer. And I'm a bit worried. Although I like Nick Cage's parts, I think he sinks his teeth into his parts and he's an absolute tripper. I'm just worried that maybe The Surfer's going to be yet another cringy representation of surfing. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. What sport subculture movies actually nailed it? Let me know.
There we go. First voicemail.
Good question, which is I like Will.
Great
Good
question, Will. I do like it.
He's a good C. Look, Will, I agree with you. Most representations of our favourite subculture, surfing, are depicted very poorly on the celluloid, except for the 5 out of 5 1987's Nia Peebles, Gregory Harrison, North Shore. Of course, you overlooked that when you said that, Will. But
that's a big overlook. That's an all-time classic.
Well, you do know that the greatest thing to come out of that movie is Damo's kick-ass credit song.
Mate, that movie was the Gone with the Wind of the 80s.
It was.
It should have gone. It should have gone and went with the wind.
But Will, to answer your question, I also am a big fan of ice hockey, go Canucks, and seeing Mystery Alaska and Rusty Crowe waddle around on his skates looking about he's going to bust over, keel over and bust himself every time, I think is an equally as shit depiction of a subculture, this time ice hockey players. So yeah, mate, I think they do it tough. So one of the things that I'm working on at the moment in my spare time, in my screenwriter phase, is actually a genre film about freestyle motocross, which is something I've dabbled in the past on the periphery, not actually on the bike. And I wish to address that, Will, because I agree if it's not authentic, then it is easily picked apart by people like yourself and I. So yeah, really good call. I will come back to you with one that I think does it really well, but I think surfing especially doesn't cross over well into fiction film.
I disagree with that because I think I'm going to give you 2 words.
One of them's Wednesday.
No, but that's perfect, right? And I think subculture sports don't transfer because they're quite niche, right?
Yeah.
And not only that, they take a certain amount of skill, generally, like surfing, takes a certain amount of skill. If you don't do it right, the culture gets that straight away. You fail. Another one, I reckon, is Lords of Dogtown, right? The skating one about, the Pal Peralta and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's very, very good.
The documentary that was made before the actual fictionalized version of that is outstanding. It's very good. Stacey Peralta did it. The one with Heath Ledger, is that the one you're thinking of?
Heath Ledger, he plays the dude
that owns the surf shop, who's a bit in real life looked a bit petty to me. They're definitely giving off some ped vibes.
Well, the doco's called Dogtown and Z Boys, and the movie's Lords of Dogtown. So they're both worth watching. And for a guy that's not into skating, they were both excellent films. Really, really good.
Good call.
Well done, Wilbur.
Hey, well, good on you, Will.
I would have liked to have got into skating when I was young, but I never had a skateboard. I was going to have a Santa Cruz once.
Santa Cruz Jam.
I had a couple.
Yeah. Okay, boys, it's that time of the night. It's the Gage Roads Brewery, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, G-Man, what's your favourite drop, Gage Roads?
I'm a single fin guy at the moment. I quite like the single fin.
What about the hazy?
No, I've been on the hazies, but I'm just swinging back to the single fin at the moment. I really enjoy it. It's a nice light beer.
Like it, Dan. What's your go-to?
Oh, look,
he's a single fin guy.
I mean, I was an early adopter of the single fin, but I've been getting into the airtime lately because it's only 99 calories a tin, and I've been in a cutting phase because I've got a fight coming up. So if I smash, half dozen of those bad boys, I'm still very much in the red on my calorie deficits, but still with amazing flavour. So well played, Gage Roads.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, thanks, Gage Roads. And again, yes, they are a sponsor of the podcast, for real. Let's start with the good. Daniel, you up there on the land. What do you got for good?
Yeah, you touched on it before, but the lack of dialogue. So this is very much visual cinema at its best. George Miller didn't feel the need to fill his characters with useless and verbose exclamations, certainly no exposition. We're just thrust straight into the wastelands and immediately know that Max's whole life relies on him getting gasoline for the last of the V8 interceptors. and to the fact that he's sticking helmets underneath the dune buggy that is spewing out a tiny bit of gasoline, and I wasn't exactly sure what that was going to do. It wouldn't have filled his lighter, let alone the fuel tank on the Interceptor. But we know what's happening without him. Max, as you said, he's got very, very few lines in the entire film, yet we know what's going on. So I think that George Miller able to bring such an impressive piece of cinema to life without the need to toss on with flourishes from his pen was amazing.
Well played, G-Man.
I liked the gyro captain's pink shoes.
They were,
He looks like
they
a
were
chicken.
awesome. They were awesome.
They were pretty awesome. With his yellow tight pants. No, loved his pink shoes and his purple scarf.
Yeah.
I really loved the visual changes that they put in it. So when you've got Humongous up there and you see, and it sort of shows the passage of time. It's light behind him. They're sort of showing that things are moving forward. That happened in Mad Max too. Mad Max the original. Sorry.
Yeah.
I love the way that George Miller does that. I just think it adds so much to the movie. It's obviously a way they've done it in the time. I love how they speed up some of that photography too.
Yeah.
To speed up
He's
some
got,
scenes.
He's got that incredible palette that is the outback.
Yeah.
So this is shot all around Broken Hill in far western New South Wales. And you're right, G. He just utilizes every moment of the day to give us the passing of time and really pick up on that. It's just the desert and the beauty of it, yet the real
the desolateness, the
hopelessness,
lack of hopelessness. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Good,
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, well, good. I've got a few. The soundtrack again is
excellent.
It's perfect for this film. It is. They've taken what they did in the first movie, and they've just added to it. It's excellent again. It's so good.
It's understated. That fits it.
I'd say beyond this, that you would talk the sound design as much as So I remember the feral kid when he's throwing his boomerang around when they're all camped out the front of the refinery, and that the complete lack of sound in there except the sound of the boomerang going and the actual dialogue, the minimal dialogue that's going on, really gives the sense of foreboding, I think, that you feel for these guys stuck in the refinery and under siege. And I thought that was super captivating and not what I remembered.
Yeah, no, it's very, very excellent. The black screen start, it's so minimal, this film. Like, it's just so simplistic, but it gives you so much. The black screen start and then the voiceover and the recap. Effectively, it was like a Rocky film. It was the recap of the whole movie. Tells you where, no one's seen Mad Max, you walk into Mad Max 2 and you're fine.
That's right. You pick up the story where it is, right?
And you don't even need that recap of the first film. Like, it could just be a separate movie in itself.
Well, it is. I mean, there's nothing that really links the two movies apart from the character.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. The Interceptor again, like, you can't, and the sound of it.
Yeah.
It's just iconic.
The nitrous.
Yeah. The use of brakes in a car chase. Now, the first car chase where we cut and it's Max is being chased by Wes and the other Marauders, and they come up beside him and he brakes and they shoot each other. It's underutilized, the brakes in any movie. People are trying to get almost being pushed off a cliff and they just keep driving. Put the fucking brakes on.
Yeah.
And so, Max, well done. Use the brakes, you win.
Well, Top Gun stole it, of course.
Correct. You put on the brakes and fly right by.
You're gonna put on the brakes, fly right by.
That's it. I loved that the dog was in charge of the trigger when he captures the gyro captain. Thought that was really cool.
I love when it says the rabbit there outside, and then he's panicking.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a good little bit of levity in the movie.
Yeah, and the gyro captain is all the levity that the film gets, really. It all revolves around him. Max's gun, epic. The sawn-off shotty is epic. When he finds the rig and he comes back and it's the chase back, every car chase in this film is outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Even the small ones. Like when you see it and when you're watching it through the binoculars, when they send the three people out and they send the guy that's apparently going to go, and you're watching that whole thing through the binoculars, even that's outstanding.
Yeah.
And not only that, Bruce Spence, wonderful binocular acting.
Yeah.
Right? His facials, you know what's going on they cut away from the rape of the woman, or that, and just his facials. You know by his face what's going on. It's incredible binocular acting.
Yeah,
it's never been done before. So good.
Good call. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like look back acting. It's like a specialty.
Well, Croaks would nail it.
Yeah.
Croaks and Spency.
Croaks would take that down.
Definitely. My two favorite shots in the film, when Max has the massive crash, Gyro Captain saves him, and he's being flown back, and he flies over the camp, and it's just his head, and it's down, and you're seeing everything going on over underneath him, and then he comes and lands, and that's a fucking epic shot.
Yeah.
Right, takes in the whole camp. You see exactly what's going on. So cool. And also the start of the chase, the finale, where that's obvious helicopter shot is just coming straight up the road behind them and straight over the top of the rig. Unbelievable shot. Now, I don't know if anyone's got it in listen to this, but one of the reasons for the Gyro Captain being in the film was so they could get budget to have a helicopter, because they needed a helicopter to shoot the shots that would be the Gyro Captain. So effectively it was, you get the helicopter for the whole shoot because it's needed for the Gyro Captain. So very, very cool. I had
that was a bit chewy.
Oh God. I had forgotten how big the refinery explosion is.
Yeah.
It is fucking huge.
No CGI in that.
No. And I don't know if anyone's got it in listen to this, but he had to tell the airport, he had to tell neighboring mines that there was going to be this explosion, and the shockwave was so fucking massive that people were like, what the fuck is going on here?
Mate, it's the largest explosion ever created for an Australian film.
Unbelievable
which
explosion.
Destroyed the whole set.
Yeah, unbelievable explosion. And then obviously, my last one, the finale. And really, it's flawless. It is incredible, the finale of this film. The stuntman flip.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable. I was like, holy shit. I'd forgotten about that. And I'd read about it before we
were talking about
watched it.
He axed himself. He broke his leg really badly.
He's lucky I don't know how he survives that.
But they kept it in there because it looked
so good.
So crazy.
Then the next best bit is when Wes goes off the front, and then the feral kid's going out to
get the
bullet. But when he puts on the brakes and Wes flies over the front, that the car behind that Humongous is driving with the two guys on the front slam into the back and just explode.
Yeah.
Right. And apparently they use dummies with watermelons for heads. So when you see their heads explode, it's watermelons that are just exploding. But then obviously the homage back to the original film with the head-on collision to end it is fucking unbelievable. Yeah. But did anyone else notice the meat bone?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Fly through the shot.
Oh God, yep.
Like,
wow.
That is, it's like they've put they've gone to the butchers and got, a fucking kilo of leg bones, and this bone flies through the shot. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's a fantastic chase scene.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. Okay, I've got a bit of bad too. G-Man, we'll start with you.
All right. I've got a few questions about some of the stuff. Oh, the first thing I'll tell you is the eating of the dinky die after the dog eats it with the fingers. I remember as a kid watching that going, oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, the dog.
You must be so hungry.
The whole dog food thing is a hard watch.
Like when you go, he eats it first. I was like, oh, eating dog food. But hey, that's what you got to do when he eats it after the dog's eaten it.
Oh,
and he's scooping it out with the fingers.
It out. Oh. It's like warm apple pie.
Yeah. Is it a good strategy for the Gyro Captain to bury himself in the desert and hope that someone comes along the highway that's not a bunch of marauders?
It's flawed. Seriously flawed.
Like, it's stinking hot out there.
Yeah.
And he's got to make it look like no one's under the ground. So, like, that hasn't been recently moved. So I was just thinking, how many people come along his way? I'm not sure about his plan.
And not only that, the plan worked better with him not there. Killed the guy that came. They got the little buggy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That just looks like diamond python.
Yeah, it
To
does.
me,
Yeah.
not the most poisonous snake on the planet.
I'll keep going. Who dug the feral kids tunnel? It's a long tunnel.
Yeah, it's a long tunnel.
And why didn't someone try and crawl through that to get in?
The marauders are useless.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Bad military strategy.
We already covered the full jerry cans of fuel. And why didn't they just give them some gasoline?
Yeah,
but why did he turn the truck around? Why did Max turn the truck around?
That's a really interesting point.
Because that truck would have taken, it's big, and like it would have had to slow down a lot. Like, and they're quick on quick cars.
Yeah, and not only that, as soon as Humongous is dead, yes,
the other guys bail. Yeah,
we're done.
They
We're
come
done
and look
now.
at it and go, all right,
we're done.
It's all too much.
We're done now.
Maybe they thought that, we'll just go back to the refinery. They didn't know it was blowing up yet because only the guys that went back got blown up.
People on Saturn knew that thing had blown up.
The other one I got is when we talk about the marauders not having much brains. Why did the people in the refinery leave in the light? Like it gets to morning when everyone just wakes up and then they go, "We'll go out now," when they can see us. You know, you're thinking in the dead of the night. That's when you're going to try and crawl out in your car as slyly as possible.
But not only that, wait till they get over the crest of the hill before the rest of them leave.
Yeah.
Like they're only halfway up the hill, and those three guys are so concerned about getting to the gasoline that they don't even chase the other convoy.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, wait till they get over the crest of the hill. They all chased them.
Yeah. Well, also about the guys that went in the first round that all got
yeah,
killed.
that was dumb.
Like, why wouldn't you go in the middle of the night if you're going somewhere? Why wouldn't you sneak out at night? Like, why would you wait till morning knowing that they're surrounding your camp?
Yeah, if you're going to sacrifice 6 people to get out,
yeah,
you're going to run out of people pretty quickly.
I got one more question. I'll leave it for ugly.
Okay. Daniel, anything for bad?
You touched on how amazing that stunt is where old mate gets flung and does a double fronty, fully elongated like Gumby in the air. It is an incredible vision, and you just gasp when you see it. What about the lack of safety involved in stunts in 1981? My God. Like, I have a mate who is a stunt coordinator, and the shit that they have to go through for when someone falls down on the pavement, let alone is on a motorcycle and clips a vehicle and flies through the air doing double summies. It was just reckless back then, and it's awesome. And those guys were just incredible. And they were doing it for fuck all as well. You weren't in stunts to make a huge living. You did it because you were just a 6C, and it was an amazing rush. And you cannot fathom that was an industry back then that just allowed you to get away with that shit. Even the explosion, like, it's so visually striking, but there's nowhere on earth that they're allowing you to do that anymore. Incredible.
Mate, so I'll just tell you that the story goes on set that the tanker roll at the end was so dangerous. They thought it was going to be so dangerous.
This is a good point. This is a good thing.
The stunt driver, they said, you're not allowed to eat any food 12 hours before it because they thought it was pretty likely that there may be an injury and he may be rushed into surgery. That's the point. You go like, mate, you don't eat anything in case we've got to rush you to hospital after this. This could go either way.
So not only that, like,
incredible.
They were supposed to do the stunt roll and the head-on in the same day, but the head-on collision fucked the truck up so badly that they actually had to repair the truck, and they did the roll the next day. Like, it's the Wild West.
Yeah. But it's 81.
It's the Wild West.
I'm sure there's people go, mate, do you want to come on here? A few $100, you can be a stuntman.
Yeah, for sure.
I haven't
Mad Max. You'd have been onto it.
I haven't spruiked it for a while, but go and check out Not Quite Hollywood, the doco about
Unbelievable.
the Australian film industry. There's quite a good bit on stuntmen and just how wild those guys were. So check it out.
Okay, I've got the knife that Max uses to attack the gyro captain is brand new. It is so shiny. Everything in the Wasteland is fucked, and his knife is sparkling.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's not pitted at all.
He's John J. Rambo. He looks after it,
mate. There's zero chance they're keeping the Marauders at bay. Zero chance. Gow, you mentioned the dog food. When he eats the second tin, when he's sitting in the camp, you can see the fur and shit in the meat.
Like it's like
agree.
he's actually eating Pal.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
brutal.
so bad. I mentioned how you run out of people if you sacrifice 6 to get 2 out. It didn't look like there were heaps of marauders. Looked like there were like 50 marauders.
Well, yeah, but there was another camp behind. So a lot of them were over here on the road, and there was a few behind. But yeah, look, they looked to be about 50.
Yeah, it didn't look to be many of them.
But I guess that's more people than were there. Like they had a massive numbers advantage.
Yeah, fair enough. Typical mechanic overcharging. So how long is it going to take? 24 hours. You'll do it in 12. Yeah, okay. Yeah, 12 will do. Typical fucking mechanic. Dodgy guy. And it looks like he tried to overcharge someone previously and they smashed his back and broke his legs. So he's a cripple because he tried to overcharge. Why doesn't the gyro captain have 50 Molotov cocktails and just be raining Molotov cocktails down on them all? Talk about 5-minute movies. That's part of the 5-minute movies. And I'm going to go back to the mechanic. You put the cripple on the tanker in a key spot. What are you thinking?
He had to sit down, didn't he?
Mate,
sitting, yeah.
He spends half the thing patting
up.
his legs out and like opening the water to put his legs out.
Yeah, he was in a world of pain.
You got to be able to move if you're on the tanker. You got to be nimble.
Did you notice the scene when he gets nailed, when they drag him off?
Yeah.
And he goes under the wheels? Oh, that's brutal.
And same as the guy at the back.
The bouncing wheels, yeah.
The guy at the back that gets ripped out and his leg gets stuck. George Miller tried to cut that because he didn't realize it was a dummy in the back that was going to get ripped out. So he's like, cut. And then they ripped it and he's like, fuck. And it was a dummy. Gets run over by the cars. Yeah, it's just the Wild West. Okay, that's all I've got for bad, but I've got a few uglies. G-Man.
Okay, I've just got one. Now, their whole plan was to fill the truck full of gasoline and in the middle of the day, take the truck out and run past them and hope to outrun the 50 marauders on smaller bikes.
Yes.
You know, resplendent with tridents and everything.
How does he hit him?
Resplendent. You talk about the knife. You talk about the knife being clean. That trident looked like it was 4 days old.
Both of them.
I was like, man,
But how does he hit Papagallo in the back when he's protected by the back of the car?
No, he should have thrown
a hell of a shot.
He should have thrown a few of those. If you can throw that from a moving car, he should have taken up the fence like you said and just thrown a few tridents over the fence.
It's Daley Thompson in the heptathlon.
I did love the trident. Brick killed a guy.
You better lay low.
I've been meaning to talk to you about that. I just thought that they're going to go and outrun. Right, they're in fast cars. They're in this massive truck, and they got to outrun them and get the rest of the gang to get away. So to do that, knowing that they're not faster, they're carrying more weight. Why did they fill the truck full of sand?
Yeah.
They filled the whole tanker full of sand, which would have made it so much heavier.
Yeah, so much slower.
So much slower than they needed to be, and they didn't have the fuel.
Is it part of the ruse so that Max, because he would feel that if he's not carrying any weight,
maybe,
but still,
he wouldn't know. Like he's in the truck, they wouldn't. There's no way that he would have known. He would have just got out and started driving.
Yeah,
you wouldn't have had a choice. You couldn't have gone back and gone, hang on a sec.
I'll drive that tanker. Okay, Dan, you got anything for ugly?
Nah.
Okay, I got 3. One is the destruction of the interceptor. Doesn't need to happen.
Brutal.
Find some way to keep it. Shooting dog.
Yeah.
Not cool. Yep. And it's funny that it's done cool. off camera. And then Max's breath. Max's breath would be so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Eating that dog food. Nah, I'm sorry.
Mate, all their breath. Mate, the gyro captain's not going to have good breath. He's struggling in the Barry Beath. He's gonna stink. What is Xanadu thinking? What is she thinking?
Yeah, look, it's a bit interesting, isn't it? The whole breath situation is not ideal. He's got dog and dog food breath. Old gyro captain. Okay, well done, people. That was excellent. A lot of fun. Daniel's quick fire. Take it away.
Yes, F-Wits, welcome back. Quick fire, let's punch it out. So starting off, we've kind of foreshadowed this one, but the lookalike / Morgs alike in the Road Warrior Max 2. I will dob myself in and say that I could play the gyro captain any day of the week, including today. I might need a bit of a touch up on my Barry Booth, but not that much. So yeah, Bruce Spence, I will take that. Both gangly, weird looking humans, him and I. Gentlemen, anyone else that stood
I
out
just want to
for
say
you?
that I reckon that Bruce Spence, tall, skinny, he would have been a good bloke. He would have been a good bloke.
You need a bit
Skinny
more.
bloke.
You need a bit more weight on him.
A little bit.
A little bit
maybe.
more weight on him. I actually think you sort of got similar facial features to Papagallo a bit, Dan.
Papagallo's
Well,
got a rough scone. We've got big,
I've got a
sort of
lookalike.
big mong heads. Yeah, I agree.
I've got a lookalike for him. I think that Papagallo looks like what's his name? The Mick Jagger. You look at him in the face and the way he talks, he's a little bit Mick Jagger.
Maybe.
He's got a little bit of Mick Jagger in there.
Maybe.
He's
Also, and
there's a bit of Alexander Park in Papagallo's massive cranium as well. So, as
got
we
a
know,
large head.
a normal head's a 1. So Parky and
He's got a
Papagallo are
nicey.
about a 1.4. Yeah. So that's right. Shout out to you, Alexander.
yeah, definitely. There's also, I mentioned him. There's a guy in there that is it's a mini Bob Hatfield from A Country Practice. Very short, got the blonde hair, looks like a young Bob Hatfield, but a short one. Okay, I think that's it.
What about Wes's Offsider?
Oh, the Golden Youth.
It's got it looks a bit like Damo back in the day. The flowing locks.
I got to say, it does look like Damo, the Golden Youth.
A youthful Damo.
Yeah, Damo
back in his
probably
try-scoring
never
days.
looked that good, but he's definitely golden.
George Miller actually spotted old mate who played the Golden Youth off camera and said, and he had the exact look and he had that long hair and he said, "You've got to be in my film." He wasn't actually cast originally. They found him to be part of it, but then he actually left it up to Wes to decide what their relationship was, and apparently their relationship is more like a father-son. He found him and he looks after him, but I've got to say, it looks a little bit more involved than father-son.
No.
So
I'll tell you what, if it's father-son, it's not a great relationship because he's pounding the Golden Youth.
It feels like they're a couple, and you know, in the apocalypse, good luck to them.
But in saying that, in saying with Wes's fashion choice, he might be a taker, old Wes.
Well,
that's easy access.
Well, that's it, and who cares? Like, go for your life. It's
whatever. Whatever floats your boat.
He's got good buns. He wants to show them off. Like he's proud of them.
Whatever floats your boat in the wasteland,
he works out.
The two getting it on in the tent.
Yeah,
in the middle of the day,
on Top Girl.
Good old midday nooner in the tent.
I
on the land.
I would have, for lookalike, I would have also accepted the feral kid for his due. I have been known to run that in the morning after a big night, young Morg. So yeah, excellent. Moving along now, you guys really shit the bed with this one, but 5-minute movie, which is the new category. What could one of the characters have done to make this a really fast movie? I think Gal's already nailed it. If they just said,
"Yeah, I think that's."
Sorry, I didn't realize we had a new segment.
Yeah, that's.
I think I missed the last production meeting.
Yeah, that's all right. No,
we're refining gasoline here. Why don't you just all get in single file and we'll fill up your cars and you can go and maraud somewhere else.
Yeah, maraud the fuck off.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. They can't be changed. That one.
Good work. Thank you, G. Well played. Next one, That's Not a Knife. And I've taken it back to That's Not a Knife because it is my favorite. That's Not a Knife for a scene that has passed over into popular culture, obviously popularized by one Michael J. Crocodile Dundee, Paul Hogan, in 1986's Croc Dundee, which took Australia to another stratosphere as far as worldwide popularity. There was a scene in that where Mick has a knife and it's gone on to completely outlive its life in the film and have people reciting it all over the place, a la passing into popular culture. Was there anything in The Road Warrior that has similarly passed over into pulp culture? Now, I know that I love 2 days ago, I saw a rig that could carry that vehicle, haul that. So that's my favorite, but I don't know that it's that popular. I don't hear my mum sprouting that one. Boys, anything you think that has passed over?
I'm not sure if anything has. I don't quote this movie really.
There's not really much to quote.
There's not much
No.
to quote. But could you say that like this? Was this the birth of the chase film? Like, are there?
I think there had been previous chase films.
Yeah, there probably had been.
I think it's a combination of
was
the
unreal chase movie.
The chase film and the look of this dystopian. Like
Yes.
the fact that steampunk and everything really lived off the back of this, and so many movies copied the visuals of George Miller to show that punk and S&M type mashup of the tool shed in Darlinghurst and the Big Bob's Leather from Seven, where he makes the makes the cod piece. All of those visuals owe everything to the Road Warrior, as far as I'm concerned. So
100%.
Yeah.
In saying that, like Wes is in the Simpsons Australia episode.
There you go. There you go.
So there you go. That's
no higher
Wes,
praise.
Yeah, there you go. So that's probably the one thing.
All right, accept them both. Next up, Burt Young in the Rockies. Obviously, has been getting quite a moment of late on Born to Watch, but undoubtedly one of the biggest douchebag characters ever committed to film. Very hard to like, old Burt Young. Is there anyone in this character that touched upon Burt for complete douchebaggery? Interesting. I can understand why the Marauders acted like they did. They just wanted the gasoline. They weren't in it. They weren't being dicks for dick's sake.
I don't know. The guy that they raped the girl and then bolt shoot her. That's
but that's villain. That's villainous.
Yeah, true.
Villainous.
Yeah.
I got one. Papagallo. Because Papagallo gets on his fucking high horse with Max, and I know he's just trying to convince him, but it's all about you got to do this, you got to do that, and all he wants him to do is to be the patsy. Like you don't go high and mighty on him about with all that shit lives and blah 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 blah. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, but in saying that, Papagallo's on that convoy as well, so he knows he's going to die.
Yeah, I guess he goes with him, doesn't he?
Goes
like, he takes it on.
So but there's not a lot of dick
a little sanctimonious, but redeems himself when he yeah. Okay. No, I'll take it. Thank you. Next up, another recent movie that we finally covered, the brilliant 1986 James Cameron's Aliens, where we introduce you to Ripley's running. It's a tiny, tiny moment right at the end of the film, but it is a particularly piss-poor show of athletic prowess. We love Ripley. We love her character. She can't run for shit. She is unco. Was there anyone in The Road Warrior that was equally as lacking in athletic prowess? G-Man.
Oh, yeah, the guy that tries to catch the...
That's what I got. The toady.
I got it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Come on, mate.
Yeah, how dumb.
Yeah.
It does look like they chuck up a handful of your favoured Frankfurters when he is unable to catch them, G. Excellent. No, totally agree. Piss poor effort there. Well played. Next up, staying with Aliens, the 1986 Juggernaut, which received 5 out of 5 on Born to Watch. In the director's cut, there is a scene that shows the robot sentries, which is a brilliant piece of additional footage. It tells us a little bit more about the shit that the Space Marines are in as the aliens attack. Was there anything you needed to know about the world of Max Rokitansky that you were unable to glean from the Road Warrior, Matthew White?
Look, I think in terms of a narrative, I think it's perfect. I don't think you need anything else, but could have been a bit more violent.
It's interesting to say that because I'd forgotten about the rape scene, and that was pretty
graphic.
Yeah,
it's overt, but I think that there's not a lot. Like, there's not a lot of.
But do you think that's by today's standards? Can you measure that?
Yeah, absolutely. Good call.
No. I think that
because a lot of people people get flamethrown in this. There's those people get raped and pillaged. Guys get three bolts.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
I mean, there's not a heap of it, but there's still a fair bit. Guys get smashed on the back of the truck. Like, they're hanging those guys off the truck.
Yeah. No, you're probably right.
It's a solid headbutt.
I think
There's
it's
a couple
difficult
solid
for
headbutts.
us to look back on a lot of these films and now having seen John Wick 1, 2, 3, 4 and talk about the violence in it and think
Yeah.
it's a little slower. So yeah, I can totally see where you're coming from. But no, I think it's appropriate for the film.
Oh,
Look,
at
and
the
look, and I-
time,
yeah.
at the time, it was groundbreaking.
Well, we were kids too when it was around, but I do remember the steel boomerang through the head.
Oh God,
Yeah, that was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, there's some
brutal.
pretty confronting pieces.
No, there
yeah,
is.
We were kids
yeah.
too. I mean, that makes it, because you're only young, it makes it really brutal. And
Yeah.
the fingers chopped off. That was
Yeah. No, at the time it was
similar.
on, yeah.
It was similar to Candellini.
very. He wants
Righto. I'll give that a thumbs halfway up for you, Matthew. Needs a bit of work on that one. Next up,
Sorry.
and finally, Whitey's Brad Pitt. For the actor you'd most like to forget about the atrocious breath breathing down on you and have a special lie down in the desert with.
God.
G Money, not a lot to choose from. I mean, Max is extremely handsome, but definitely dirtied up from the first film. So
breath.
he's it's and his breath after eating the dog food. Definitely not something you want to take on. I think it comes down to probably.
I think that's how he got the
characters.
trucks through them that quickly. They had to stay away until they got behind him. Fuck, too much breath.
The only one that could sit in the cab with him was someone with
dog.
worse breath.
The dog
It was
was
the
like-
feral kid and the dog.
Oof. I'm actually going to answer on your behalf for this one. I thought Virginia Hay was confrontingly stunning in this. So I had forgotten her part in this film, but what a beautiful lady. So amazing, obviously former model, but became a storied actor and featured in many things post The Road Warrior as well. So yeah, Virginia Hay.
Oh, she was in Pacific Drive, Home and Away,
Pacific Drive,
Paradise Beach.
That
No,
would
E Street was the best of them.
Was Paradise Beach, that would have been shot around your way, wouldn't it? I'm sure there would have been some.
It was Goldie. I think it was a Goldie. It was a
it
Goldie.
was.
Thing, yeah. It's not quite chances, but
Some win, some lose. Excellent, gentlemen. That was quick fire. Well played.
Well done. Listen to this, G-Man. Take it away.
Well, we've thrown quite a few
covered each of
facts
them,
out.
haven't
Heaps of them. 16 lines of dialogue. The tanker roll. The cost of production. We talked about it was the largest explosion. It was the most expensive set ever constructed for an Australian film. The desert compound that was built out in Broken Hill. So, interestingly enough, one about George Miller, he turned down the chance to direct First Blood.
Yeah.
To direct this film.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he could have added that last third that it needed.
Oh,
possibly.
he could have. George Miller could have, unfucked the final third and turned it into a 4 out of 5 movie.
He would have picked a good song. He would have picked a good song.
Taken out the ridiculous, unnecessary monologue that talks about Stallone's background. We know that you've gone through shit, mate. You don't need to tell us. George Miller would have done a great job.
did that. Yeah.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off. One of the great monologues, Dan. You're such a fuckwit.
Yeah. Call it like I see it.
Fair enough. Anything else, G-Man? I got a good one.
Go
You've probably got it, but Humongous was originally supposed to be Jim Goose.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah. And they decided against it, but they left a few hints like Humongous being burnt behind the mask and the use of the police vehicles and also a similar weapon to the MFP's gun, the 44.
I wonder why they shied away from that. I would have really enjoyed that. Yeah.
That would have been a really fucking good twist.
Yeah.
But in saying that, what you see in the hospital, that's not Jim Goose.
No,
that's not the Goose in there.
He's not bulking himself back up.
He is burnt beyond redemption, but that would have been a really, really good curveball.
Yeah. That would have been. That's an interesting storyline because that could have led to not more dialogue, but more interaction between Humongous. Because the interactions between Wes and Max, right?
Yes.
You can run, but you can't hide.
How deep's his voice, Wes?
Geez, he's a good athlete. He bounces over the track, rips off everything.
Pole vaulter.
Yeah.
Pole vault. Yeah. Amazing, and all with the cheeks hanging out.
Yeah, very good.
I got one more quick one for you.
Go for it.
The dog in the show. They got that from a pound.
was going to be put
It's
down.
going to be put down, yeah. And they trained it for the film. So its name was Dog. That was its actual name. Yeah.
Well, don't fuck around.
Excellent. Excellent.
So, yeah, so it ended up being adopted by one of the camera operators after the movie. So that's nice. Yeah, they got it from the pound before he was about to go. So
Good looking dog too.
yeah,
Blue
good
heeler.
dog. Yep.
Blue heeler. Good dog.
I've got one for you.
Oh.
So George Miller actually wrote this film and had it produced and released in theaters within 12 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was shot in sequence over the course of 12 weeks.
Yes.
Which is unusual for
Yeah.
filmmaking. But yeah, he came to him, wrote it, and was able to go down to the Hoyts-Ringer Mall and watch it all within 12 months, which is frightening.
Yeah, the production was 9 weeks and 21 days.
9 weeks and 21 nice. Love it.
Excellent.
Yeah. Incredible. So look, I honestly, Wes was seriously pounding the golden youth. There's no doubt. Has to be.
In my youth.
So there was an original scene, which for the start of the movie, where Max drove past a farm that Wes and the marauders were ransacking. They killed the owners, and the bodies were hanging from a tree at the front. And during the massacre, the V8, the interceptor comes past, and then they see it. Wes sees it, and then they chase after him. That was all filmed. And the only part we see is when we see them on the road already, and Max has been chased by the marauders. But this scene was filmed with them ransacking the farm. That wouldn't have been a bad scene to see.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I
Right?
agree. I mean, I love the fact that this is 90 minutes. I really
Yes.
enjoyed the pace of it and the fact that they didn't add in anything that I didn't think we needed. But yeah, now you mentioned that, I think that would have been interesting.
That would have been an interesting scene. Would have really set the scene as to how evil they are, even though we know without knowing. But in saying that, again, it's lean and mean and not too far in between, and you don't want to fuck with it. Well done, gents. We've mentioned a heap throughout the course anyway, but quotables, there's a few, but not a heap. Dan, you got anything?
Yeah,
You
only
wanna say
the
it
one I
again?
did before. Yeah. I mean, it definitely needs one more go. So 2 days ago, I saw a vehicle that would haul that tanker. You want to get out
So
of here?
good.
You talk to me.
Yeah, it's very good.
If it's all the same to you, I'll drive that
I'll
tanker.
drive that tanker.
Here's one of Wes. This is a good. I'm just going to tell you this one from Wes after I think it's after Golden Boy's killed. No more talk. We go in. We kill. We kill them. They kill us. We kill them. Kill them. Kill.
Very, very good script writing. A very good one, which is the lines are spoken off screen, but if you put the subtitles on, this is what they say. And it's when Max is eating the dog food, he's sitting on the hill and he's watching through sort of the binoculars and stuff. Humongous says, "Smegma crazies to the left. The gate. Gay boy berserkers to the gate." Smegma crazies
to the left. Oh,
now,
God.
he's either smelt Max's breath, right? But what dialogue? Smegma
Oh.
crazies to the left.
George Miller
Gay boy
definitely,
berserkers to the gate. Unbelievable. I did like the mechanic. The last of the V8 interceptors, a piece of history. Would have been a shame to blow it up.
Definitely a nod to the original in that one.
Absolutely. And Humongous again. "I am gravely disappointed. Again, you have made me unleash my dogs of war." Mate, there's actually some good lines of dialogue. The last one, "Max, I want to drive that truck." Zeta, "And how do you plan to do that? Look at yourself. You couldn't drive a wheelchair."
I did like the one. I can't remember the exact words to it, but it's when he first captures the gyro captain, and then he takes him back, and then he finds the bullet on the ground and opens the sort of shotgun and puts it in. And he's like,
that's
"Oh,
awesome.
you
Yeah.
low down dog."
That's low.
That's low.
You lied. That's low. That was good. Okay, we've done 1 degree of Kurt Russell. It's Mel Gibson, Tequila Sunrise. They both try and pound Michelle Pfeiffer. Who could blame them? Film school. for F-Wits. Daniel, take it away.
Yes, F-Wits. This week, I thought we'd take a look at a notable slashie. So we've talked about slashies in the past, where it's someone who enjoys perhaps multiple roles, multiple jobs throughout their career, maybe at the same time as a slashie. But George Miller was actually a medical doctor before he decided that the pull of the cinema was so great that he made Mad Max and then went on to his storied career post that and gave away the scalpel and the stethoscope. But it's not that uncommon for famous directors to have actually started off in another career. So I thought I'd just go through and take a look at some other directors like Mr. Miller who didn't just come out of film school straight into their roles. So I think the most famous for us was probably Quentin Tarantino, who, like our own Messrs. White and Giles, Damo and Whitey, actually worked as a video store clerk and in the adult film industry. So very much like Damo in this respect, prior to writing his scripts and then directing Reservoir Dogs. Hang on 2 seconds.
Sound like Wes. Sound like Wes there. No. Reservoir Dogs.
You right, Dan?
Oh, there we go. Sorry, tickle in the throat. But yeah, Quentin perhaps the famous one, but probably not as cerebral as Mr. Miller going out. But Ridley Scott, another person whose films we adore and who's popped up recently for us with Aliens. He worked as a set designer, as actually a director for televisions in the advertising industry. So probably a little easier leap than Quentin to move across, but obviously both super storied. James Cameron was a truck driver and a janitor before he embarked upon his film career. Whitey's favourite, Wes Anderson, was a playwright and a part-time cinema projectionist. Guillermo del Toro was a special effects makeup artist and also worked in television. Stanley Kubrick was a photographer and worked for Look magazine. John Huston, similarly to me, had careers as a boxer, a journalist, and a painter. Akira Kurosawa worked as a painter and an assistant director. Alfred Hitchcock, he started as a title card designer for silent films. Paul Thomas Anderson, another favourite of Whitey's, worked various odd jobs, including as a production assistant. Mike Nichols was a successful comedian and part of the comedy duo Nichols and Way. Guy Ritchie was a music video producer. Another favourite of Whitey's, Sophia Coppola of Lost in Translation fame, was a fashion designer and photographer. Oliver Stone served in the Vietnam War and worked as a school teacher, which I thought was interesting.
Wow.
And Ronnie Howard was a child actor from the Andy Griffiths show and after that, Happy Days. So, yeah, look, it's definitely, it doesn't have to be a direct path to film. A couple of others. David Cronenberg studied biochemistry and wanted to be a doctor like George Miller, but didn't quite get there. Terry Gilliam was an animator and cartoonist. Paul Verhoeven, the freaky Dutchman, studied mathematics and physics and was in the Royal Netherlands Navy. And Ang Lee was a theatre director and worked odd jobs, including as a house husband. So there you go. George Miller, definitely not that far removed from many of these guys who, whilst their love of film turned them into the auteurs that we love, didn't necessarily start there. So I guess my point being, whatever you're doing at the moment, you can just transition into becoming a world famous director if you choose.
Life lessons everywhere, Dan. That's what I love about film school.
Yeah.
Some people don't know if they're doing what they want to be doing when they're 48, 49 or 50.
100%. And Luc Besson, finally, was a diving instructor prior to becoming a director.
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
Well done, Daniel. Good one.
Film school. Yeah. Interesting.
Like it. We're moving into kick-ass credit song. G-Man's on the mic tonight. And I'm excited to see what you're going to come up with, Gow, because you are the songbird of generation.
He hasn't been up for a while, has he?
No, I haven't. This one was written pretty quickly.
Well, that's the whole point.
yeah, pretty quickly.
Did anyone now? This is a silly question. Did you listen to Rocky 3?
No.
Haven't had a chance to yet.
No.
Dan, I know you wouldn't have, but last week, Damo did a very original kick-ass credit song for Rocky 3.
Oh.
It was called "Nose of the Leopard," not to be confused with "Eye of the Tiger." And he sung a song to the tune of "Eye of the Tiger," but it was called "Nose of the Leopard."
Oh, he's a dickhead. I love it.
And it was very very interesting. It's worth a listen. Nose of the Leopard, not one of Damo's best, but
Okay.
he's slowly falling into the rest of our
We're
levels.
dragging him
We're
down.
dragging him
We're
down.
dragging him
Yes.
down. I like down to our level. I love it.
Yeah. Okay,
Look,
G-Man.
This song, the movie, you asked some questions, Whitey. I asked some questions. Morg's had a few questions. There's a lot to be asked. We've covered a bit of it, but this movie's set out in the land. I know we've got a man of the land in it, and there's a few questions maybe Morgs could help us out with. So this song's called "Help Us Out, Dan."
I do love it.
So, well, I've been to a couple of shindigs up at Morgs' way, and they look like the Marauders parties. Like a few bonfires.
There's a few,
People run around with chapless.
There's arseless chaps,
arseless chaps,
bare
on.
feet.
Yeah,
bit of tent nooners.
Few
tent nooners.
Yeah. Morg's just running around in his face mask and undies.
Yeah, this is it. His leather undies.
Humongous.
Yeah. Him making us call him humongous. Yeah.
All right, here we go. I have to try and remember a tune for this.
That's all right.
Bumblebee. All right, here we go. In this barren desolation where all around is dry, Max and Dog take down some dinky die. Living on the land, not everyone's dream, but the only thing he's here for is some guzzling. Gyro shows him an opportunity. Where's Russ? I've just stuffed it. Sorry, I'll start again.
A lot of syllables in that line.
All right, here we go again. Help us out, Dan. In this barren desolation where all around is dry, Max and the dog take down some dinky die. Living on the land, it's not everyone's dream. The only thing he's here for is the guzzling. Gyro shows him an opportunity. Wes rides around, his cheeks hanging free. But there's some questions I don't understand for all these people living on the land. Like, where do Papagallo's team get a feed? Why do they give some gas out for free? What the hell happened to Gyro's teeth? Can you tell us, Dan? We need a debrief. Why would Max turn the truck around? Why would Gyro bury himself in the ground? 4 jerry cans, is that strength from the land? Why the hell was the truck full of sand? These are the questions. We want to know why. Dan on the land is our go-to guy. So many questions we need answered, man, for these people in the land. Can you help us out, Dan?
Oh, he's back. He's back.
Yeah, that was really fucking good. The strength from the land. That took me to the edge. I went blind.
He loves the farm strength, the G.
I love it. I nearly passed out.
I did really. You nearly went full gal.
I saw the white. The white was in front of my face. I was gone.
What did I do when I nearly passed out? Oh, I did the ki.
You did the ki. You were gone. You were gone.
Excellent. Excellent. That was Damo-esque. Excellent.
That was very good, Gow. That was very, very good. I love that. God, now to come down from that, let's talk about star of the show. Daniel, who you got?
George Miller for me. I'm going to give it to the mastermind, the director, the one who birthed this world. It's his vision. He was a fucking doctor and decided he just wanted to make sick movies and succeeded. Well played, George Miller. You are awesome.
Yeah, good call. G-Man.
Well, you've gone with George Miller. I'm going to go with Mel on this one because he's
Mel. Oh, Mel. Oh, Mel.
Oh,
Mel. Oh, Mel. Oh, Mel.
Oh, Mel.
Oh. Oh, Mel.
So Mel Gibson.
So Mel Gibson.
Yes. Yeah, look, I'm going with.
Wait, sorry, who's that a shout out to? How many people?
There's a few, but we'll talk about that off air.
I don't know. Should we talk about it on air?
No, let's talk about it off air. Look, I'm going with Mel. I'm going with Mel. I gave it to George Miller in the first movie for what he did. Obviously, he's a fucking incredible director and leader of men. But I think that this, probably more than the first movie, relies so much on Mel Gibson holding that centerpiece. I think he does that very well in this movie. But you could easily go George. Well done, gentlemen. The rank bank. Now, I'm going to play a little something here from our little golden youth who is missing from us tonight. So I just got a little message here from the golden youth. If you just bear with me.
The strawberry golden youth.
That's it. Bluetooth Roadcaster. We are connected. Come on, you cunt.
It was Jeno and Goods and Emre.
Mate, when we go to Tasmania, I'm playing that part for Jeno. I'm going to play that part for Jeno. Okay, so the rank bank, we've got a message here from Damo because he's not with us tonight. Here's what he has to say about Mad Max 2.
Mad Max 2. It's in my top 5. I love it. The V8 Interceptor, the Golden Youth, old Wes's boyfriend. But my rating, and I don't know what your ratings are, but this is a 5 Interceptors for me. And if you like this, go and watch Rebel Moon 2, The Scar Giver.
The Scar Giver.
The Scar Giver.
Wow. I wouldn't have picked this as a Damo top flick.
5?
5 flick. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it blew me away when I heard the message.
Is that his rating or how many times he's seen it?
Oh, I forgot to ask him how many times he's seen it, but I'm assuming
It's about the same.
It could be the same. Yep. All right. Here we've got a few options. We've got arseless chaps. We've got feral kids. We've got fatal metal boomerangs. We've got V8 interceptors. Blonde-haired sex slaves. Dirty tent nooners. Smegma crazies. Gay boy berserkers. Anyone else got anything else?
I'll go on a tangent of one of yours. I'd like golden youths.
Golden youths?
What do you reckon, Morgs?
Yeah, I like gay boy berserkers and golden youths. So let's go with golden youths.
We'll go with golden youths. Not Smegma crazies.
Oh, I like them both. Smegma crazies.
Nah, we're going with golden youths. It's all good. G-Man, how many golden youths are you giving Mad Max 2?
Love this rewatch. I don't watch this movie often, so that's why it's always good to go when you do watch it. It's sort of something I really enjoy. I gave the first one 4.25.
Yep.
And this is going straight. This is going the same. I can't split the two. So I'm going to give it 4.25 golden youths.
I like it, yeah. That's a good score, that. I think this movie's going to rate pretty well. Daniel, how many golden youths are you giving Mad Max 2?
I'm not usually an agreeer, but I'm going to go straight into agreeer mode and agree with that small-teethed little Muppet boy next to you. Our very own golden youth, the G-Money. 4.25 golden youths for me. Yeah, I very, very much enjoyed revisiting this film. Hadn't seen it in a long time and was immediately thrust back into George Miller's world and just thought it was brilliant. But mostly the effects, the practical effect, that massive explosion, the ridiculous stunts, loved it. Loved every minute of it. 4.25.
Yeah, look, I'm with you, boys. I gave the original one 4.25. I say that the original is my favorite movie out of the whole lot. I'm not going to make the mistake I made with Aliens. I'm giving this one 4.25 as well. Loved it. I'm the same. Hadn't watched it for quite a while and was completely consumed with it. And again, the flip, the stunts, George Miller, the world, the Wasteland, so fucking good. Incredible movie. G-Man, this movie's going to rate pretty fucking well.
This movie is coming in at 4.44 golden U's, equal with 4.44 knee-high suede boots for
Knee-high suede boots. Big Trouble in Little
Big
China.
Trouble in Little China.
Oh, that's a yeah. I'm
it's
happy with
right at
that.
4.4. It's right about 4.42 underrated 80s movies girlfriends.
Ferris Bueller's Day
Ferris
Off.
Bueller's Day Off. And it is right below 4.5 Rock Hammers for Shawshank.
Shawshank.
This brings it in at equal 20th spot.
Okay,
Excellent.
top
So
20.
that's top 20 at the
Excellent.
moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Happy
that's
with
a
that.
good rating.
Yeah.
That's a good rating. That's higher than IMDb.
Now, Mad Max itself is down in number 34.
What's that rate?
4.17.
Okay, all right.
Fuel
Oh,
injected
that's
suicide machines.
Similar. Very similar.
Yeah,
Similar, yeah.
not far away from each other at all. Well done, boys. We've done it again. Somehow we just nail it. If you loved Mad Max 2 The Road Warrior, what are you going to love, Daniel?
Oh, fuck Mad Max 2. I've been just sucked back into Deadwood again. I haven't watched it since 2004. And it is epic. F-wits, if you never watched Deadwood when it came out originally, get back into it. It is so much funnier than I remember. I just sit there on the couch at night with a Gauge Rhodes in my hand, pissing myself laughing. 3 seasons plus the Deadwood movie. Check out Deadwood again. One of the best TV shows of all time.
Good call, Dan. G-Man?
Look, if you really like this, you've got to go and see Furiosa. I think that's my next step, is to go and see Furiosa.
Yeah, we should go and see it.
Yeah, we definitely need to. Well, we were trying to, weren't we?
Yeah.
The schedule didn't make
We're
it.
very busy. We're very busy men.
Busy men.
Yeah, busy. Very busy. Sorry, I was busy.
busy.
Look, if you liked Mad Max 2, why don't you watch Steel Dawn with Patrick Swayze, post-apocalyptic swordsman with his wife Lisa Niemi. It's fucking dreadful, but go and watch it. Another one, Salute of the Jugger.
I was just about to say Salute of the Jugger.
Salute of the
I love
Jugger.
that movie.
Rutger Hauer,
Joan Chen, Vincent D'Onofrio.
I love that.
Very young Vincent D'Onofrio.
Very young.
I wrote like an English essay based on that movie.
Really?
Like sort of that was my theme for it.
Find it, Gow.
I'll have to find it.
Find it, and we'll put it as a blog on the website.
I think I wrote that after Kaleidoscope of Colors.
Well, you're on your way.
That was my. Yeah.
Oh, you have to find that, G. If you can find that, that's epic.
Yeah, it's going as a blog with the other one that you've written on the website that you don't know you've written.
Oh, well done.
Okay. Well done, boys. Good job. Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, in the top 20, 4.44 golden U's.
Great
Amazing.
movie. Really cool movie.
Good movie. We look to next week.
Great fucking movie.
We look to next week, and it's a change of pace, and we are going. It's me and the G-Man and Damo.
Right.
We're going sports movie.
Whoa. Big Wednesday?
No, not yet. Field of Dreams.
Oh, I love it. Love it. What a
Field
great
of
movie.
Dreams.
Scooby's favorite.
Yeah, he believes it's a real movie. It's got nothing to do with ghosts.
He loves real movies. We
He
know
likes
that.
real
We know that.
He loves
Gooby.
real movies. So we're doing Field of Dreams, which is a Costner classic. James Earl Jones, Ray Liotta, a very young Ray Liotta. Incredible film. I watched just yesterday. I watched the replay of the entrance 2 years ago or 3 years ago. The Yankees and the White Sox played a game at the Field of Dreams, and they had rebuilt the stadium and in the same, well, just opposite the cornfield, which was used for the movie. And I watched it 7 minutes. Costner walks through the corn and then is walking out with the music playing. There's a full crowd there, and then the players follow him out. Guess what I did? Guess what I did?
Soaked.
Teared it up.
Cried.
Yeah.
Soaked. Cried. I messaged.
We got to get Kleenex.
I messaged the great man Sloan Nixon and said, "I'm watching the Field of Dreams game, Yankees White Sox, and I'm crying." And he said, it's hard to hold back with that. He gets it. He gets it. He gets it. Daniel,
Look, I was going to say though, there's been a bit of stuff. Was it Gabby Hoffman, her name? The played his
girl.
daughter
Yeah.
came out during the week and said that made a few comments about how Kevin Costner wasn't very paternal to her on set.
Wow.
So we can dissect that next week.
We
That was
shall.
only during this week that came out.
Okay.
So.
Gabby Hoffman. She's also in Winning Time, the TV series about the Lakers.
Oh, is
She's
the
Uncle Buck, yeah.
new series out on that yet?
Season 2 is out, not season 3 yet.
Oh,
Season 2's out.
Season 2's out. Yeah,
I don't think I've seen it yet. I'll check that out.
it's worth a watch. It's a great show.
Oh,
Yeah,
I watched
cracking show.
Civil War. Watched Civil War with Kiki Dunst and Jesse Plemons, and it was okay. Yeah, I enjoyed it. F-Wits, check it out.
Dan, did you think that you needed to know more about the reason for the Civil War?
No. I was happy that it was. I think it correlates quite readily with what's going on over there at the moment. I think I watched the UFC on the weekend.
Oh my
and
God!
Saw the entire crowd chanting for Donald Trump, and was mightily impressed by their love for the Trump. That's a fucked up country as we speak, and I could understand totally that there is quite a division in that place at the moment, and it is quite captured quite well in Civil War. So yeah, check it out.
Yeah, no, it's worth a watch. I enjoyed it. It's quite dark from a different perspective that you would anticipate as well, which is quite good. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. It's been great. G-Man, well done.
Thank you. See you next week, everybody.
Dan, well done.
2 days ago, I saw a vehicle that would haul that tanker. You want to get out of here? You talk to me.